Too Late from Behind, and Sebastian Marin, your first repeat top split winner of the qualifying series.
We knew it was just a matter of time. Hunter Sr. is victorious.
Josh Adams taking the win at Iowa.
GC Spider Motorsports takes home the 1-2-3 finish.
Drivers, start your printers.
To keep pace with the ever-changing landscape of marketing and advertising, let Clark Print Shop help you spot the trends and keep you in front of the pack with all your color printing needs. From business cards to invitations, menus to mugs, we can print anything you need on paper or your choice of over 3,000 promotional items. Visit www.clarkprintshop.com to browse our online catalog and place your order today, or call us at 276-889-3426. For a limited time, use the code iRacing for 23% off your first purchase. The staff at Clark Print Shop looks forward to handling all your color printing needs.
Introducing Tractor USA, the best way to buy and sell premium ag and construction equipment. Tractor USA was designed to be straightforward, simple, and affordable with zero commission and live auctions every week. Tractor USA auctions offer the finest selection of pre-owned tractors, combines, and other ag and construction equipment from across the United States and the world. Simply go to tractorusa.com to get started today.
Walking and Rolling Costumes started when my son Reese was born with cancer.
So when I was 3 years old, I got my first wheelchair.
And he wanted to be Wall-E for Halloween that year. And so I knew you couldn't buy a costume to go on a wheelchair at that time, so I knew I had to build one.
My dad ended up building a Wall-E costume out of a Dell computer box.
When we were all finished, he loved it. We took pictures of it and shared it on social media. So many people started sharing it that we started getting requests from people we didn't know.
In 2015, we decided to build them for other kids because people were asking, hey, can you build them for my kid?
So we started the nonprofit organization, Walking and Rolling Costumes, and we build costumes for kids all over the nation, free of charge to the families.
After thousands of laps, 21 races total, and almost a fifth or sixth season actually in the books, it's all come down to this one moment. You could win it, win the race, win the championship. That's the goal for two drivers here tonight in what might be just the greatest title battle that Saturday Night Racing League has seen in its 6-season history, and it's going to be a fun one. Already capped off by qualifying. Hello, everyone. Saturday Night Racing League kicks off in full force for Season 6, one final time tonight. Hello, everyone. I'm Connor Horn here tonight. I'm joined by Samuel here tonight on production. Samuel Joseph, he's doing the heavy work. He's doing the production. I just get to talk about race cars. One thing I enjoy a lot. Cameras, as always, provided by WD. One final time this season. The qualifying is already into the books. And we have such a fun championship battle and a fun race ahead of us at a track that's so fun. Samuel here at Kansas Inter-Saturday Night Racing League, presented by M&J Distributors, along with Matco Tools. As always, longest season in this league's history. It's come down to the final race after a full 22 race season. It all comes down to Kansas between two drivers, Joshua Banks, Bailey Turner, separated by 10 points. Bailey Turner has the lead, but with how the point system works, if either of them win the race, they win the championship. That goes for Joshua Banks as well. Philip Brewer, Jeff Wright, J.R. Shepard, they need a lot of luck to go their way. But Samuel, this is going to be an entertaining one for sure.
Yeah, this is a great race. Kansas will provide the entertainment for everybody watching. Great way to end the season. I'm really excited for this one.
I'm excited for it as well. Very hot track temp. That's one thing we'll note for sure. The track temp will be through the roof, which should provide crazy racing. Almost 130 degrees in these O'Reilly Auto Parts Series cars. Kansas needs no introduction. One of the best tracks on the schedule the past few years. In the real world, it races well. In this series as well, we've seen great finishes, multiple winners here. Jeff Wright's a two-time winner here on this mile-and-a-half racetrack. A little bit of progressive banking, 17 degrees in the corners, feels like a little bit more at the top part of the racetrack. We'll see if that higher line comes into play. It's always multi-group when we come here and provides great racing, and the higher track temps should definitely help that even more.
Yeah, I mean, really, this is one of those tracks where you're really going to have to save your tires. Looking at that track temp of 129, it is cooking. That rubber will melt as the laps go by. It's going to be a lot to do. And then looking at the race analysis as well, we're going to go through that. 140 laps for these drivers. Pit road speed is going to be difficult, 45, difficult banking into it. So I wouldn't be surprised if drivers get black flags. 5 tire sets available, so they will be able to run through a couple sets until they really need to start thinking about their tire saving and whatnot. 3 green, white checkers if we need it. 100% fuel. So these cars are heavy, Connor.
Very heavy for sure. Don't really see much strategy at a track like this with the tire sets only having 4 extra ones. Who knows what type of tire strategy we could have at the end of this race. We'll wait when we get there. And obviously you talked about pit speed, 45 miles an hour. Kind of a sneaky tough pit road to get to if we get the green flag pit stops, which has been a theme this season. It could provide tough, especially for those title competitors. We're already taking that look at the points. The title scenario is pretty set in stone. If either Bailey Turner or Joshua Banks win the race, they will win the championship. If neither driver wins the race, it's a lot tougher for Joshua Banks. It's a point per position besides for the race winner, which basically means if Joshua Banks and Bailey Turner do not win this race, Banks would have to finish 11 positions ahead of Bailey Turner to win this championship. So I think the goal for him is pretty simple, just win the race.
Yeah, I mean, it's going to be a tough one for these drivers as they wind down with the qualifying. Honestly, wherever you start, doesn't matter. If you're within that top 10 in the beginning part of this race, especially if we have green flag pit stops, save your tires. That is going to be the theme for these drivers, especially for the ones fighting for this championship. It really is going to come down to who can manage their tires with such a difficult car that we're racing with, and then also being there at the end, avoiding those situations in the beginning due to drivers not really taking care of those tires. We might see a few drivers go all out in the beginning, not really aware that it's going to have some issues, but we'll see what happens.
We'll see what happens indeed. 50 seconds left in the warm-up period. We've been talking about as if it's only Banks and Turner on the track. It's a 28-car field, a full field of drivers. Some drivers still technically, mathematically in the title fight is like Philip Brewer, Jeff Wright, J.R. Shepard, and even Elliott Butler still mathematically in it. Realistically, they won't get the title that they were hoping for. Jeff Wright was going for 2 in a row, his 3rd total. He will need a lot of help. Even if he is mathematically eligible with only 28 cars. Philip Brewer's 26 points back. He needs a win and a lot more to go his way. But we're definitely going to be focusing on the driver of the 24, Bailey Turner, the driver of the 35, Joshua Banks. They're tied for 2nd in this series this season with win total at number 4 for both of them. Bailey Turner has only 1 more top 5 and 2 more top 10s. They've been neck and neck all season, especially in this chase. They've been on top of each other this season. And how fitting it is that it's going to come down to a 1v1 sort of battle battle, but they got to battle everyone else on the track too. So important this season with win total at number 4 for both of them. Bailey Turner has only 1 more top 5 and 2 more top 10s. They've been neck and neck all season, especially in this chase. They've been on top of each other this season, and how fitting it is that it's going to come down to a 1v1 number of seconds left. Our warm-up will be complete. We'll be ready to roll and go green in a lap or two. Just getting ready to pace. Once again, hot track temp will play into this big time. In a big qualifying session, we'll get to our grid in just a moment's time. Not quite ready to grid yet, but what a finale this is going to end up being. Once again, you see the track conditions, top of the screen. The track time's going to go down to 127 while there's no on-track activity. Once we have almost 30 cars on the racetrack, it's going to be an incredibly hot track. We might see track temps up maybe close to 140, which is something we rarely see on iRacing. It is going to chew up those tires big time as everyone gets ready to grid on the racetrack. Our pole sitter all the way back to 28th place. Once again, full 28-car field here tonight for the season finale, Season 6. What a great 6-season stretch it has been. We've had title fights galore with the chase format. We've had only a few multi-time champions, actually only one multi-time champion in Jeff Wright, and we're very likely to add a second one in the name of either Bailey Turner or Joshua Banks. Grid on our screens. We talked about how important qualifying is in this series. The first punch dealt goes to Joshua Banks. He wins the pole for tonight's race, so a big advantage for him to start on the pole, start at the front in front of Bailey Turner. He'll lead the field to green alongside J.R. Shepard, who's been knocking on the door for his first victory all season long, his first victory of the season, I should say. Chad Klinger, great qualifying effort for him. Not fifth the season he wanted. Same with Ryan Chambliss, but great qualifying efforts for them. Third and fourth. Fifth position, Justin Ritchie. He's shown the flashes this season. Just hasn't been consistent enough at the front to fight for the title. He sits the title. He sits 13th in points. And Bailey Turner leading the points, win the race. He wins the title, but he'll have work to do. Catch up to the 35. He starts in the 6th position. 7th position goes to Chuck Sweeting, who's had a solid season. The total energy is number 75 this week. He'll start 7th. Philip Brewer, who got that breakthrough win a couple of weeks ago. He is an outsider for the title, needs a lot of help, but he has a mathematical chance. He starts 8th. Christopher Hodges, good qualifying effort for him in that Mustang. He'll start 9th. And Dakota Floyd, he also still looking for his first career win in this series. He'll start in 10th, 75 this week. Casey Lakatos will be in the 11th position. Jeff Wright was looking for his third title. It won't be the case. He'll start back in 12th. Angelo Horonis, he's had great runs this season. He'll start 13th. Elliott Butler got the big win at Talladega. He has not been able to sustain that consistency. He will start 14th. John Sanu, another start for him. The Sunfire Transportation Supra will start 15th. Matt Shanowski 16th. Bryce Shoemaker 17th. Brian Carwell in the 18th position in another Mustang. Brandon Wallace, number 99 and 19th. And Reggie Ortega, who had a crazy race at Bristol last week. He will start in 20th. And we're going green this time. Rounding out the end of the field, Michael Jones 21st. AJ Stravado, always so fast. A lot of wins for him this season. He has 3 total. He'll look for number 4. He starts 22nd. Kenny Kibbe, just not been the chase he wants. He starts 23rd. Andrew Telganoff returns, multi-time winner of season, 24th. Keith Shoemaker 25th. Stephen Davis 26th. Broderick Vakalavic, Dago winner last year 27th. Austin Belke 28th. We are ready for the season finale of season 6. It comes down to Banks and Turner. Who wins the race? Who wins the title? We'll find out tonight in Kansas. Saturday Night Racing League. Green one more time for season 6. More time for season 6. Big first lap for Joshua Banks. He will lead the first lap. Bailey Turner already getting to work. Chad Klinger will let him through for the 3rd position. Philip Brewer gets the 5th position. J.R. Shepard settles in the 2nd, and we're almost 3 wide. In fact, we are 3 wide for about the 8th position. Brian Chambliss loses some spots. Oh, cars on the apron background. Bryce Shoemaker's one of them in the 54, but they look like they kept it straight. He and John Sanu keep it straight, keep it green as they try to single file out the front of the field, but at a track this multi-grooved, it's easier said than done trying to get single file. Still the chaos in the background, still 3 wide. Reggie Ortega is on the bottom of that. Matt Shinowski backs out. AJ Stravato trying to get the work, get to the front quick. You have some drivers trying to test the top of the racetrack, but mostly everyone wrapping the white line, wrapping the bottom. That's where you want to be for tire conservation, especially with the track temps. We're going to say it a lot. Already up to 129 with all these cars on the racetrack. It will only get higher as this race goes on and on. No surprise to see Elliott Butler at the top, but Joshua Banks doing exactly what he needs to do, leading this race early. Wrapping the bottom. You see Jared Shepard closing in just a little bit. Aronis get a good run off the top of the racetrack. That's about for the 12th position. Aronis, good runs this season. Still has not been able to parlay that to a victory. He sits 11th in points with 2 top 5s to his name, including a top 3. Trying to get that middle line going early. You see Jared Shepard closing in just a little bit. Aronis off the top of the racetrack. That's about for the top of the racetrack. Battle for that 11th position is on big time. Excuse me, that's still 12th position. Justin Ritchie has the 11th position. Case Lacatus took the 10th spot from it. This is pretty much the most action we have on the racetrack so far. Single file throughout the top 10, 2x2 in the mid-pack. Top of the racetrack, that's about for the top of the racetrack. Battle for that 11th position is on big time. Excuse me, that's still 12th position. That 9 car following the bottom of the racetrack. Again, we talk about it pretty much every through race. Brian Chambliss, Atlanta winner a couple of seasons ago on fuel mileage, has not been able to recapture that fortune to get the victory again at another 1.5 miles on fuel mileage. He's had some good runs here and there. The finishes have not really shown it, but already dropped back from that top 4 starting spot, almost outside the top 15. It shows how on it you have to be to keep track position in this league. Fuel mileage has not been able to recapture that fortune to get the victory again at another 1.5 miles on fuel mileage. He's had some good runs here and there. The finishes have not really shown it. Rogers and Chambliss side by side, 12th position up for grabs. And it shows how the Pokemon paint scheme on the 15 this week. Another change of paint scheme. The familiar Bucky's patriotic scheme on the number 9 car. Oh, big crash! Huge crash! Elliott Butler and I believe Chuck Sweeting early crash, lap 7. Ryan Carwow's going to get involved. Matt Shinowski as well. It looks like the title contenders are still through it, but a huge crash early. The familiar Bucky's patriotic scheme on the number 9 car. Oh, big crash! Huge crash! Elliott Butler and I believe Chuck Sweeting early crash, lap 7. What a wicked crash that was. That's going to take a number of drivers out of the race, including Elliott Butler, who was sitting 6th in points coming into tonight. Dakota Floyd. Elliott Butler going for a move, presumably for the 7th position. Butler dove in, slid up. There's contact and huge right hook for the 6th of Butler. Unfortunately, Chuck Sweeting had nowhere to go, as well as Ryan Carwell a little bit after also had nowhere to go. Huge early crash in this race, and didn't look like Floyd could do much. Butler sent it to the bottom, slid up just a touch. He needed the room, and he just didn't have it. Butler thinks he came down, so there's going to be a disagreement between those two. Shame for the guys not involved in the initial incident in this race, and that's going to take a number of drivers out of the race early. Joshua Banks pits from the race lead live after caution. They do have some strategy. J.R. Shepard and Philip Brewer stay out, as well as championship leader Bailey Turner. So only after 7 laps, majority of the field brings it down the pit lane. The points leader decides to try a different strategy. A number of drivers out of the race early. Joshua Banks pits from the race lead live after caution. They do have some strategy. J.R. Shepard is going to drive through pit road as he does usually, hoping to lead a lap, but we had drivers that stayed out. Christopher Hodges is going to get off pit road, taking fuel only. So the 50 will likely come down the pit lane. The 15 just takes fuel only. Everyone else 4 tires and fuel. Banks out first, then Klinger, Wright, Wallace, and Floyd. And we'll get an early restart after a huge crash that takes a number of drivers out of the race. Chuck Sweeting, Elliott Butler, Ryan Carwell likely out out of this race as well. Will likely come down the pit lane. The 15 just takes fuel only. Everyone else 4 tires and fuel. Banks out first, then Klinger, Wright, Wallace, and Floyd. As he does usually. And we'll get J.R. Shepard will assume the role of the leader of this race. He's had so many close calls at Martinsville both of the last 2 seasons. He's been moved out of the way at the end of Rockingham, that controversial finish with A.J. Stravato, booting him out of the way. That was another opportunity to win. This could be his final opportunity. Well, it is his final opportunity to win this season. He's been so close, just hasn't quite gotten there. But he has a good chance at a good points finish result. Even with no wins, the consistency has been there. He moved up to 5th in points after last week at Bristol after being in 8th in points. So could be another good title finish for the 98, just not the title he's been looking for. But he'll pick the inside for the restart. We'll re-rack, restack, and we'll get a restart on lap number 10. Going 2x2, another double file restart. We've had a decent amount of them this season, but not as many as seasons past, as we have already shortened this field to about 24 to 25 cars, as Matt Shinovsky also still sits on the pit lane. But another big restart, multiple strategies, differing strategies from the 2 title contenders. Turner on old tires, the 35, the first one on new tires, but it's Jared Shepard leading them to the green flag. Banks early move, 3 wide for the 4th spot, making quick work of those drivers on no tires. Gets by the 50 of Lakatos. Little bit of a wiggle through 1 and 2, but he's up the 4th. Turner trying to fend off 2nd from the 44. Brewers were 2 and 3 wide, down the back straightaway. Turner, big pinch to the 44. They slide up the racetrack just a little bit. Here comes a big move. 3 wide for 2nd. Joshua Banks wants that title. Banks is going to have some help from Jeff Wright. A little bit of a push to the bottom of the racetrack. 3 wide for that runner-up spot. And Banks already putting those tires to use up to the 2nd position. And he's going to bring Jeff Wright with him to 3rd, maybe, but not quite. Turner just has enough of a run off the corner to stay side by side. Big dive to the bottom, those fresher tires working a charm for these drivers. Big squeeze off of turn number 4. The 98 tried the run. Banks out of room, couldn't quite do it. Joshua Banks, the race leader again across the line. Not quite. Yes, he did. By under 1,000th of a second, he led that lap. And just like that, he's once again in charge of the title lead. And Jeff Wright's going to follow him up to 2nd. The fresh tires working. The drivers on old tires may be questioning that. We've seen a lot of instances with Joshua Banks and Jeff Wright having contact together. They were in a title fight last season, the 35 and 48. It ended with the 48 in the wall at this very racetrack, but it was still Jeff Wright who came up and won that championship away from the 35 and a few others that were in that title fight as well. But it's just about for position. Jeff Wright would need maybe a lot of help, maybe impossible help to win this title, but he's trying to go out with a bang. He's looking for a league-leading 7th win on the season in that Hot Fries number 48. And he's just following in the tire tracks of Banks. Those 2 get away. Dakota Floyd hangs on to 3rd for the time being. Chad Klinger gets back to the 4th position, and the highest driver who stayed out on that last yellow is J.R. Shepard. He's already fallen back to 5th, as you can see in the corners how much of a speed disparity there is. Justin Ritchie's going to get by. Angelo Horona's going to follow suit. This is trouble for a lot of those guys as battle for the lead is on. Here comes the 48, Jeff Wright for the lead, and he's going to dive into turn number 3, try to pull that slide job, run the 35 out of room. He crosses in front of him, gets sideways out of turn number 4. Oh, the 48's into the wall. Banks is spinning into the grass. The championship runner-up right now. He's going to lose all this track position and then some. Huge moment in the championship. He needs to win this race, and now he'll have to come from the back. Unbelievable moment. The 48 pulled the slider. The 35 got to his bumper. The 48 got sideways, and now this is a huge implication and a huge break for Bailey Turner. Just like that, Samuel, the guy who has been in charge, albeit for only 15 laps, he's been in charge of the title. He's been the fastest car. The 48 makes a little mistake, gets too high out of the corner, and all of a sudden Banks has so much work to do.
Yeah, exactly. Right there, as we go to Joshua Banks' camera right there, you can see this guy is really focused now after that situation. And it's early in the race. It's only about to be lap 18. So for Joshua Banks, if you're going to have to win this race tonight, just lock right back in. You were doing well. The race will be right back to you, but looks like he's trying to get his focus right back on.
Oh, I can imagine how that can knock you out of focus. I mean, the 48, you know he's going to be aggressive. We talked about, as he blinks out. Don't want to see that in the final race for title contenders, but we've seen him in the 48 have issues at this track before. I talked about last season. It's turn 4 again 2 seasons in a row. This time the 35 was on the wrong end of it, and it didn't look like anything malicious. It's just the 48 overdrove entry, kind of washed up exit, and the 35 kind of followed him, and he got bit by it, but a great save to keep it out of the wall, and looks like he has no damage as he gets by Bailey Turner, his title rival. Once again, the situation, if neither driver wins this race, the 35 would have to finish the 24 by 11 positions, which is a much taller task than just winning the race. But you can see Banks is focused. He's gained his focus back. He's driving with a vengeance. He's already back into the 9th position.
Yeah, we'll definitely keep checking in on him, seeing how his progress is with the challenge that he has ahead. Looking up front, Chad Klinger did have a run, but it looks like he's going to fall right back in. So let's look back at Joshua Banks. Looks like he was able to get back past this. Oh, my God. Looking at the 24. I was trying to say good thing, and then I saw in the background. Oh, they're so close into the entrance right there.
This is the Bailey. This is the strategy. He kind of took a risk staying out, and it's not paying off right now as we get more green flag running. We talk about all the time, saving his set. Is it worth it? We won't really know if it's worth it until we get to the end of the race. But right now, he and J.R. Shepard are bleeding spots big time, both outside the top 10. And the 24 getting put in the sucker hole right now. A lot of drivers all over the place. 44's in the wall right in front of him. Not where he wants to be.
Yeah, not what he wants to be at all. Looking at that track temp, it's 133. Any of these sudden movements, as we see 3 wide happening into turn 1 again, any of these sudden movements just adds heat into these tires. Degrades these tires further and further. So these drivers are going to have to figure it out. Get single file if they want to keep those tires alive.
Meanwhile, battle for the lead is on. Jeff Wright was kind of getting in a rhythm, but the 57 Dakota Floyd has caught him back. And there is some left rear damage on that 48. I don't think the bumper on the front of the 35 is damaged, but you could see a little bit of a crinkle on the left rear quarter panel, really where the bumper is. That could really be hurting the 48 with getting a little bit loose right now. As you can see right there, that little bit of damage can make such a difference at a track like this, and he is on edge out of the corner, almost into the wall, but he keeps the lead, and here comes Klinger for second.
Yeah, that damage right there is going to make the car extra loose. And already, like I said at the beginning of this broadcast, this car is already difficult as is with conditions like this. So all I can see now right now is Jeff Wright is fighting that car, but a great battle for P2 happening right now.
Floyd keeps the spot with that run off the top of the racetrack. We know in this car, especially that higher part of the racetrack completely melts your tires compared to the bottom of the racetrack. It'll just be down. If we get a long run race, it's down to who saves the tires best, really. But Dakota Floyd's going to try to get the position now. He lifts out and doesn't go for the move to the inside. He wanted the top, but Jeff Wright knew that, took it from him, and he almost washed into the wall himself. Floyd turns under him, gets some clean air on the nose, and pretty good run out of 4, but not quite enough. Good defense from the 48.
Yeah, the one thing I'm looking at with Jeff Wright now that he knows he has that damage, you see he's starting to run the high line a lot more aggressively, and that's just so that he can keep the car under control as best as he can. Running the bottom line is probably a no-go for him right now, as we have a good view of Dakota Floyd running up for maybe the lead right there, going side by side into turn 3. And the more that Jeff runs that high side, the more his tires are going to fall. And
he's clear up. Got him. What a move to the inside. Not quite yet. 48 gets to run down out of turn number 4. Floyd will lead that lap this time, but now he's got the advantage. And turn number 1 dove hard into 3. And this is where the 48's been struggling the most on the exit of turn number 2, but that bottom in turns 1 and 2 so tight. 57 is going to shut the door. He's shut it too hard. He's into the wall. Both of them into the wall. Almost the same thing we saw with Banks and Jeff Wright. And this time, kind of the same thing. No one slides down to the bottom of the racetrack, but Dakota Floyd does get the race lead.
Yeah, Jeff Wright just proved me wrong. He says, look at me. I'm going to the bottom now. And he's going to challenge, going to slide into second, real close to contact. But these drivers for the last race are giving it their all right now.
And you know they're going to give it their all. We know Jeff Wright wants that 7th win, but we know Dakota Floyd wants that 1st win. He's been knocking on the door, much like Philip Brewer was. Brewer was able to get that win. He sits back in, I believe, just outside the top 10 right now, but Dakota Floyd's been hunting for it all season, the past 2 or 3 seasons, really. They're doing a good job so far. The Dr. Pepper Supra into the race lead and pulling away. Jeff Wright struggling. He's into the wall. 33 is also into the wall. Is that 48? That damage starting to hurt. Klinger to 2nd. Ritchie trying to get the 3rd. 3 wide. Hronis on the bottom. Kibbe, it's going to look 4 wide.
Wow, 4 wide indeed. Jeff Wright is really struggling, and he's just trying to survive until the next caution happens.
Oh, contact. 33 slid up into him a little bit. This is chaos. 4th on back. Kibbe is going to get that 4th spot. Reggie Ortega's going to pound the outside wall, almost into it again. We somewhat single-filed it out, but this is chaos, and we're not even 30 laps in.
Yeah, you could definitely see these drivers are really trying to find their lane in the track. The beauty of Kansas, it allows you to figure it out throughout the whole course. You can go bottom, you can go top, you can run middle, and these drivers are really exploring that right now.
And Dakota Floyd's been exploring the middle. He's been there the last few laps. 55 bounced off it there. Justin Ritchie had great runs at the start of the season, made the chase. Has not been able to really parlay it into a title fight, but still a solid season with a 55. He's going to battle that for that 3rd spot with Kenny Kibbe. Same thing for Angelo Hronis. Solid season, not a title-winning season, but still a solid season. Another driver still looking for his 1st career win in this series. He was so close at Dega. Maybe he has a chance tonight, and we talked about him after a slide, climbing through the field, regaining his focus. He's settled into 9th. Joshua Banks, once again, likely needs to win tonight. And he's in this lead pack, trying to charge to the front. Trying to get the bottom line to work for the 8th position. Reggie Ortega kind of pinching him to the bottom. We're seeing more and more drivers kind of get lower on the racetrack, not use that top side. Ortega's one of them. The 48's one of them. He slides out of turn number 4. Little contact between the 2 and 35. Risky driving. Both the championship contenders have had some risky driving tonight.
Yeah. Joshua Banks is really flirting with disaster right now. And honestly, for a championship race, you might need that to keep your adrenaline going. He's made great progress to get up to this pack right here, and especially how all they were driving while he was in clean air, he could start picking them off one by one. He was in clean air for majority of the time after he ran through the grass, so his tires are not as damaged as all these other guys are right now.
That's why we saw the 48 and 35 and the 48 and 57 as well fighting so hard for the lead. That clean air matters. It keeps your tires so much cooler. You have any line you can work with. You don't have to maneuver around out of other people's ways. It's such a key factor. And maybe it is a key factor for Banks, but he is stuck in that dirty air now, just trying to run the lines that the drivers in front of him aren't, as the battle goes side by side in front of him. So he'll only really have one line to choose from. Justin Ritchie, AJ Stravato. Again, Stravato looking for win number 4 in the season. Just missed a race to start this chase, which is really the reason he's not in the title battle. But he's charging through the field. He's up to 4th.
Yeah, charging real well. He's been taking care of his tires real well, while everybody else has been really just going back and forth, back and forth. So he's able to get some gains out of it, moving through the field. I wouldn't be surprised to see him in the front when we get closer to the end of the race.
Justin Ritchie's starting to fade. He really slipped off the bottom out of turn number 2. That's going to be yet another spot for the 35 of Banks to get back. That is a man on a mission right now, and he is already back up into the top 5. Not even really 25 laps since he went dirt tracking through the grass.
Yeah, Joshua Banks clearly has refocused and got himself back into a groove. That's what you need at Kansas. Find that groove, whatever works for you. And as long as you can achieve that that flow state that he's in right now, I'm sure he can figure out his way back to the front.
You know, he might not hate if this goes green right now. Remember, if he finishes 11 spots ahead of Turner, if neither of them win, he would win the championship. He's in the 5th position right now. Bailey Turner is running in the 16th position. That would be all the 35 needs to win this championship, but still a long way to go. And Bailey Turner, you would think eventually is going to get back on a good tire strategy at some point.
Yeah, I mean, honestly, as a driver going in these situations, the only thing you can really focus on and control is your own situation. He had his incident in the beginning, running for the lead. He's now climbed himself back up to 4th. Like you said, he just needs to finish 11 positions ahead. As long as he does his job, wherever the cards fly, that's all he can ask for at that point.
And if he wins the race, don't even need to worry about that. That's definitely his goal right now. He's closing in on the leader each and every lap. The fastest driver in the top 10 without a doubt. As a Cardinal Wall out of 4, it's Project Vaglavic, but he kept it straight. No harm, no foul. But this 35 is a man on a mission like I've never seen. He is an embattled driver. He is aggressive. He is fierce. But this is one of the better charges I've seen him had after adversity like that. As we go back to Vaglavic, he's one of those drivers battling with Bailey Turner, the championship leader, or at least was the championship leader. You're starting to see the 24, even on older tires, he's starting to pick back through some of these guys.
Yeah, I mean, with Bailey Turner, you're in the driver's seat. You control your own destiny. Oh, we got a spin down.
Spin. Andrew Telganoff, 3-car in the grass. That's our second driver having to go through the grass. He's going to bring it slow. He's going to keep it straight. We're once again going to stay green. He was running in the 11th spot. He'll fall all the way to the back, but he's still got a race car.
Yeah, really good rejoin by him. A lot of drivers can.
Whoa, Bryce Shoemaker on the back straightaway. He also had a little bit of a slide. I think he had contact with maybe the 7 of Vaglavic, but he kept it straight as well. We're at that point in the run where the tires are going to start to fade, and any little wiggle is going to put you way out of whack, and we're starting to see that.
Yeah, these drivers are really on edge now. A little bit wear on these tires. We're going to have to start thinking about pit stops. It may not be the fuel time to get into the pits, but those tires are really going to determine when you get in as fast as possible.
Meanwhile, that 11 position gap, you can scratch that with the 3 spinning, the 54 sliding, and the 24 just climbing back through this field. He's going to get to the 12th position, which would pretty much make it so that Banks would have to win this race. So the only way Banks can outpoint him positionally without winning the race is finishing 11 spots ahead. That means if, for example, Joshua Banks has now gotten to 3rd, he's gotten past Kenny Kibbe. If he finishes 3rd, Turner would have to finish 14th or worse. And right now, that's not the case. Still a great run for both drivers right now. The 24, especially on old tires, starting to pick through some of these guys. The battling right now is actually the most volatile behind the 24 for that 15th position. Some of those guys not in the title battle. Stephen Davis in a throwback in that number 60 car. He's gotten past Project Vaglavic, who's fallen back to the 16th position, actually. Davis is up to 14th. And Bryce Shoemaker, we saw have that big slide. He's regathered, gotten by the 7 as well.
Yeah, I mean, going back to Joshua Banks, knowing that Bailey Turner is going to find his way back up to the front. You, from a situation where it looked really bad to now where you are sitting in P3, getting close to probably getting your first or second set of tires, actually. You couldn't ask for a better recovery. Really, all you have to do now is just make sure you hit your lines, hit your corners correctly, and the leader's right there in front of you. You can make, it looks like he's starting to size up a move on P2.
He is still the fastest car on the racetrack each and every lap, and he's showing it right now. He fell outside the top 10 after going dirt tracking, and now he's looking for the runner-up spot, trying to get by Chad Klinger, but Klinger not going to be as easy to pass. A little wiggle off the corner from the 35 of Banks. He'll have to regroup and try it again.
Yeah, definitely, legitimately one of the fastest drivers on track, almost 0.3 faster than the leader right now. So he does have that speed left in the tank right now. As I'm looking through the rest of the field, it's just still a lot of battles happening in the back half. Looking at it, oh, we got one car coming to the pits.
That's Philip Brewer in the 44, winner a couple of weeks ago. Got it done in Michigan for his first victory. If I remember correctly, he was one of those drivers who stayed out at the last yellow, so he was still on his first set of tires. Michael Jones, he had pit, a little off the pace, he pit as well, but 44, this is his first set of tires, decided he's going to stop bleeding positions. He's going to come in right here. This puts him on probably a 3-stop trajectory right now.
Yeah, definitely a 3-stop trajectory. If you know you're a driver who can't really save tires well and you're going to burn through your sets as quickly as possible, you might as well get it out the way as best as you can so that you can stay competitive. Now, it looks like some drivers are still fighting. It looks like Bailey Turner, my thing is lighting up. I don't know, somebody spun out. But it looks like these drivers are really struggling with their tires right now.
Look like anyone spun out. I definitely saw the 48. Jeff Wright lost a spot to Reggie Ortega. He's fading with that damage. We noted it. Not working out for him. He's trying to get that 9th spot back from the 2, but not quite the case. But really biggest battle on the racetrack, closest battle is this battle for second with Klinger, Banks, and you could throw Kenny Kibbe, AJ Stravato in it as well. Kind of a 4-car battle for the spot. Banks wrapping that white line like he's done since he got sent to the back of that little bit of a pack there. But Klinger, we talk about it all the time at 1.5 miles especially. You can run that higher line. It might not be the better line for tires, but you can block with it pretty easily and keep someone behind you pretty easily. And that time, he made sure he got to the white line, took away all the air off the nose of a 35.
Yeah, the 35 getting that dirty air from the 09, and now Kibbe looking on the outside of Banks. So it looks like Banks is getting stalled just a little bit. Klinger really, like you said, wrapping that bottom line, just trying to find anywhere where he can defend behind the hard charging Joshua Banks. Looks like it's working out so far.
Pretty much everyone at the front's running 33.7s, 33.8s. Those are the times we're seeing right now. Right now, fastest driver on track is, unsurprisingly, Philip Brewer on fresher tires. He was 2 seconds faster, so that's the difference on tires. And these tires are probably not done falling off yet for these guys.
No, especially for the top 5. These are drivers who were able to save their set, or not their sets, but save their tires. As you see, Banks now has the opportunity to go for P2. Let's try to see if he's going to be able to, or if Klinger's going to have the exit off of turn 2.
Klinger slid just a little bit, just barely enough overlap on the right rear that Banks couldn't force him up and force him clear, but I think he's got enough time right here to get that spot. So 35 back up to the runner-up spot where he slid from, and now it's just under a second to get back to the 57 of Dakota Floyd for the race lead, as he has a little wiggle off of 4, but don't think Klinger will battle him much for it at this point, as more pit stops at the back. And once again, it's those drivers who stayed out on the last yellow, J.R. Shepard and points leader Bailey Turner, both in.
Yeah, Bailey Turner, I'm very surprised that he wasn't able to continue on, but hey, he knows that he has a championship to win, and it's in his hands to control that destiny. Joshua Banks, he is close to that race win, so I'm sure that's probably playing into effect while he's coming down pit road right now.
And we're almost certain these drivers can't one stop from here. So with how much fall off there is, the extra stop, maybe a 3-stop works, maybe the 2-stop prevails. We'll only see if we go to green, but looks like both drivers that pit there, all good on speed. So that won't be a concern. Hopefully it isn't all night long. As looks like Banks starting to put a little bit of a gap on the drivers behind him as we look at Austin Belke back there. Not a decent season for him. He has not been able to get a podium like he did at the end of last season at Nashville. That crazy fuel mileage finish that worked out for him. Some good finishes here and there. Trying to go off on a high, running in the 15th position. A solid run so far for the 89.
Yeah, great run from him so far, going back into the top 5. These drivers are now just single file through. You know, some of these drivers realize now in the situation they're in, especially with cars coming down to pit road, this is probably the time. Ooh, you can see them really fighting the car on exit.
Oh, yeah.
This is the time where you got to start thinking about, do you come down and get that, go a lap down to get fresher tires, or do you stay out and maybe wait for that caution to come out?
You got to think it's going to come back out at some point with how on edge all these drivers are, but it's a hard risk to take right now. Is just looking through the field. Not a lot of side-by-side, bumper-to-bumper battles. This is one of them. Bryce Shoemaker. Oh, and a big slide. Oh, John Sanu, that could have been it right there. Huge wiggle for him as he's going to lose some track position, track time. Matt Shinovsky laps down, not for position, but that could have been dangerous as the furthest up battle on the racetrack. Now for that 4th spot, here comes Travado. So good on the long runs in this series this season. He's going to get another spot.
Yeah, it's a great battle right now for the final spots in the top 5. Yeah, you can see these drivers are really fighting the cars on exit, especially a driver like Jeff Wright, who's been able to stay within the top 10, especially with that rear damage, probably cooking his rear tires right now. As you see the 44, who just did come down pit road, you can see the speed difference fresh tires is compared to the drivers who've been out this long so far.
As long as we have different strategies, we're going to see that the rest of this race. Has had some more pit stops there. Kenny Kibbe just lost that 4th spot. He came down the pit. Bryce Shoemaker from 12th also came down the pit. So more drivers. This is probably still a 2-stop strategy for the most part, at least under green it is. They pit here. They could probably go another 45 laps or 45, 50 laps and probably only have one more pit stop after this. Again, that's if we go green. Not a guarantee.
Yeah, not a guarantee at all, but the race has been going green. Maybe this is your opportunity. Joshua Banks, the ball is in your court right now. Do you stay out? Do you hunt down Dakota Floyd to possibly put yourself in the lead and in control of the race? Or do you come down and get fresh tires? Your championship rival has already done that. I wonder what Joshua Banks is thinking so far.
He's thinking he's probably fortunate to be in this spot. Once again, we talked about it a lot since it happened, but on the restart, he went for the lead. Jeff Wright got it from him, hit the wall. Lap 15, the 35 was in the grass and losing position after position. He gathered up, refocused, got back all the way to second, and even still, he's one of the fastest drivers on the racetrack. That is yet the pit. That is. A lot of drivers, fresh tires, faster, like that 44 Philip Brewer. Jeff Wright, on the other hand, the damage, it actually hasn't worked for him getting the lead and getting the bumper damage. It's hurt him a lot, but he and Reggie Ortega have kept each other company the past 20 laps. As here comes J.R. Shepard. That's the difference fresh tires makes, in case you were wondering. Bailey Turner going to follow suit, going to slow him up a little bit, but that rear bumper damage on the 48 has made him struggle. And we've seen this from him in the chase, which is kind of surprising. He was really the favorite. 6 wins in the regular season. Just didn't have the position and points to have more bonus points, but we figured he'd be a threat. His long run pace just hasn't been there this chase.
Yeah, the regular season could be one thing, but the chase brings its own animal too. And as you see the 44 with those fresh tires getting past Joshua Banks, trying to get his lap back. It's just, you never know where it swings. Just like you see Joshua Banks, he was in a really weird situation earlier. So we see Angelo Horonis come down and get in his fresh tires. You never know where it's going to swing, honestly, Connor.
I don't think either driver knows which way it was going to swing. Differing strategies from the title competitors. We're seeing mostly everyone start to bring it down pit lane, so definitely looking to be at least under green flag conditions, not counting the drivers who pit under the yellow. It looks like it's going to be 2 more stops for everyone who has in pit for the most part. As another driver in the top 5 pits is Chad Klinger from 3rd. Meanwhile, that battle between the 2 and 48 will not end. Jeff Wright got that spot back as a 0-9 pits.
Yeah, 0-9 pits. That is one driver from the top 5, as you said, coming down to pit. So I got to assume that the rest of the top 5 is going to start thinking about coming down and getting fresh tires infused. Dakota Floyd has enjoyed clean air this whole time. He really hasn't had to really force his tires into any weird situation or extend them further than they want to. So he probably could go a little bit farther. He may have been saving fuel while everybody has been battling, but we'll see when these leaders will come down.
Thought maybe the 57 can get to him at some point. Hasn't been the case yet. Once again, I mean, the 35 probably wore out his stuff big time just to get back to second. As the 24 going to unlap himself from the 35. He still has about a second to truly unlap himself, just following the 98 of J.R. Shepard through. Remember, those two were the furthest guys running of the guys who stayed out on the last yellow. Didn't quite work out, but they will be kind of on a similar strategy still, as here comes the 35.
Yeah, the 35 sees Bailey Turner pass to unlap. Will he get it slowed down? A little tire smoke. Let's check to see. He looks like he's clean. So Joshua Banks able to get down, but I'm sure seeing that 24 coming down a pass into turn 4 made him think that this is the time to come down pit road.
Zach Lavick exiting his stall. Reggie Ortega followed down. Casey Lakatos had come down to pit. He's on his way. The last time Joshua Banks finished outside the top 25, really the last time he finished outside the top 7 was at Nashville at the end of May, and it was really due to a pit road speeding penalty in a race we had no cautions. I can't imagine that's even on the back of his mind, but that's something you got to be aware of. Cannot let pit road errors take you out of title contention.
Yeah, Joshua Banks now getting passed by his championship rival Bailey Turner, but Joshua Banks will have the fresher tires, so we'll see if he'll be able to catch up. Like you said, he's going to have to either win the race or finish 11 positions further than Bailey Turner. We'll see how it's going to play out from here on out.
We'll see how it plays out between those two. Once again, not done with green flag pit stops. Race leader Dakota Floyd, he's dominated so far. Give enough credit to the Dr. Pepper machine. Still looking for career win number 1 in Saturday Night Racing League. He's had a great race, and now it's a 2.8 second gap over what is now second place AJ Stravado, and his time's pretty even with the 33s right now. A lot of drivers in the 34 flat range now.
Yeah, I'm really wondering what Dakota Floyd is thinking right now. He's been in clean air majority of this race after the 48 and 35 got tangled. Well, it looks like he's coming down pit road, so whatever I was saying does not matter anymore.
That's what he was thinking. He was thinking pit, slide the tires a little bit, and AJ Stravado in second. Gonna lock him up as well, follow him in. No penalties for either driver, and it should bring in a lot more of those lead lap guys that haven't pit yet. Stephen Davis comes down the pit at the same time. Leaves Ryan Chambliss in the race lead. He's in a battle with Justin Ritchie for position. And Jeff Wright is still out there, and Dakota Floyd on pit lane, obviously. Should also leave Brandon Wallace on the track as well.
Yeah, Brandon Wallace is one of those drivers who will run to the furthest end. Maybe a caution will come out. He will gamble like that, so not surprised to see Brandon Wallace still running out there right now.
Saw it work at Richmond for a lot of drivers like him and Chris Hodges. Unfortunately, a lot of drivers got caught up in the crash that happened after that yellow fell for a lot of those drivers. Floyd off the pit lane, 33 follows him. Floyd looks like he'll come out behind the 48 of Jeff Wright on the racetrack, but obviously with fresher tires. Bailey Turner in a battle, Kenny Kibbe. That is for position. Kibbe, the fresher tires will prevail.
Yeah,
44 obviously pit earlier than everyone else. He's going to start bleeding time now that everyone has fresher tires. And right now, Joshua Banks is at the line right now. There's a car in the grass off of 4. It's Justin Ritchie spinning, sliding. Does he save it? Yes, he did. The 55 had a big moment there.
I was trying to find the 55 on track. Really odd. I wonder if he had fresh tires or not. Probably didn't, but I'm sure that was his time. His no wake-up call. It's time to get some fresh tires.
Time to go. Yeah, time to get down, get 4 fresh tires, start listening to the crew chief, which is probably himself, I would think. Brandon Wallace also listens to himself / his crew chief. He comes down the pit. Brian Chambliss stays out. Justin Ritchie's still out there. Jeff Wright's still out there, which is a little surprising as well. But we know right now who would cycle to the race lead. It would be Kenny Kibbe, who has made his pit stop. He's up to 4th. A little bit of a gap over J.R. Shepard right now, but Shepard, I believe, he does not have fresher tires, so Kibbe's going to have the lead for the time being. Those guys who went long, like Joshua Banks, going to take a little while to get there.
Yeah, Joshua Banks making that position move into P8 on Angelo Horonis. Looking ahead, he has Philip Brewer and his championship rival Bailey Turner ahead on older tires than he is. Really, the key for him right now as we look at his cockpit, I'm sure he's happy to have a car that's stable through the corners. Don't kill your tires early. You know that you can get there up fast. However, knowing that you have another pit stop, try to save your tires still again as if it's a whole new race and a whole new situation. You don't want to burn them up and put yourself in an opposition later on.
And we can see the time differences right now. We got the guys like Kibbe, Turner, Shepard. They pit a little earlier. Turner's running 33.4s. Philip Brewer, the earliest of everyone, ran a 33.6 last time by. Joshua Banks ran a 32.2 the last time by, and the guy who was leading the race, Dakota Floyd, he ran a 32 flat last time by. So, I mean, there's continuous fall off, especially on the first run. That's always the case. And right now, you're seeing that right now. Obviously, the 57, the fastest on track, but he has so much ground to make up. Whereas regards to the 24, he's got the track position for now, and the 35 is kind of in the sweet spot. He's got fresh tires, and he's got some good track position.
Yeah, I really like where Joshua Banks is right now. It really is starting to fall his way. Now made that move into P6. The next person in line will be his championship rival, Bailey Turner, and he's going to catch up to Bailey Turner fairly quickly. Only 5/10 away from him right now. It's really falling the way that he wants it to right now. Looking at the race recap, only 1 caution. So we've been green flag racing majority of this race except for the beginning. Looks like it's going to be a battle right now.
And that yellow's what's really split these championship competitors in strategy. 24 stayed out. He fell to the back. Now on a slightly different strategy, older tires, so he won't really be able to fight the 35 on track unless we get a reset. Joshua Banks clear of that 24 for what's for now the 5th position, would cycle to be 3rd. Still waiting on Brian Chambliss and Justin Ritchie to pit. Jeff Wright has recently pit, and if you weren't with us on lap number 7, huge crash. Elliott Butler and I believe it was Dakota Floyd got together. Had a big crash, 4 cars in it, 2 of them out of a race, Butler and Chuck Sweeting. But everything all clean and green since.
Yeah, we have 1 come down pit road, so that will put Joshua Banks up to P3. Still waiting for Brian Chambliss to pit. Will this be it right here? It looks like he's slowing up.
He's definitely slow. He's bringing it down a little high up the track, the pit, but he does bring it down the pit lane. And it looked like the lap before everyone else had come down to pit. So once again, this should cycle up Kenny Kibbe to the race lead, and he's played strategy pretty well to get what would cycle to be the race lead for the time being. But it might be short-lived, only for a lap, because Joshua Banks is right there.
Yeah, Joshua Banks really, I didn't realize how well it's playing out for him right now. Looking at his driver cam, he's focused now. He sees that lead. He sees that championship ahead of him right now. Really great driving, really great recovery from him so far.
We'll have to see later in the race if the 9 can go the rest of the race without a pit stop. I'd be shocked. I don't think it's possible, but the battle for the lead is right here, right now. Kenny Kibbe, older tires, not going to have much to hold off that 35. Has to lift to give the 35 some room, and just like that, your new points leader for the time being will be Joshua Banks, all the way back from sliding through the grass to take what will be the race lead. It is the race lead away. Joshua Banks to the point.
Yeah, Joshua Banks, great pass to take the lead right there. Now you are in control of your own destiny. Bailey Turner sits in fourth, but has older tires, so I expect Bailey Turner to fall off a little bit more. Looking at this battle, it looks like Stravato able to get past Bryce Shoemaker for P8. So those drivers who came down a little bit later than the rest of the field, starting to pick up some positions now through the field.
And really, Joshua Banks, the driver, he'll be focusing on his competitor to win this race will be that 57 of Dakota Floyd. Stayed out longer, fresher tires. He ran a 32.69 last time by the 57 did. It was a 32.93 of a 35. So still a 0.3 of a second difference. It's a big difference. But if he's got to be able to sustain that to all the way up to the 35-0 bumper. He's got 3.5 seconds left to get up there. He's back up to fifth as we come out of turn number 4. The final race of the season, 70 laps down, 70 to go, and right now the man in charge of the lead and in charge of the title right now is the 35 of Joshua Banks.
Yeah, Joshua Banks, like I said, he's in control of his own destiny right now. The one challenger to his win will be Dakota Floyd. Dakota Floyd putting that pressure on Bailey Turner right now. Dakota Floyd on the high side, really showing his prowess with those tires right now.
Once again, you kind of wear those tires out running high up, but you need to get through the field as quickly as possible. And you got to take advantage of when the track cools down. We didn't really note it, but shade has come over pretty much the entire racetrack. We've gone from track temps in the mid-130s really to the mid-120s, which will definitely play a factor, make it harder to search around for grip, but at the same time, you'll have more grip on that top side if you can make it stick.
Yeah, Dakota Floyd's just working the track bottom, top, high top, middle, whatever works for him. He does have a driver in Brandon Wallace who's on fresher tires, so you don't want to have Brandon Wallace slow you up any bit. But he's on the charge. Kenny Kibbe is only about 1.4 seconds ahead of him right now, and I'm sure in about a lap or two, he'll probably catch up to Kibbe and take that P2.
We're past halfway. It's been a thing all season long. We try to get the halfway to do it. Every now and then, well, not every now and then, every race, all 22 this season, we like getting loud. We did it at the beginning of the race, mostly to fix some technical difficulties, which we believe we've got sorted for the time being. But I think one last time, presented by 29 Graphics, for the season finale, the championship decider, we need to get loud, presented by FireStorm Racing, as a matter of fact. So let's get loud.
Let's get it.
For second on go. Getting allowed one final time. Race number 22. Some wish we could go more. Others are kind of like we made it. Kind of depends on the season that you've had. Only the one yellow on lap number 7. 6 lead changers. The most recent one, Kenny Kibbe, relinquishing the lead to Joshua Banks, who is now the series points leader as it stands. But he still has to fend off Dakota Floyd, and those times are starting to even out.
Yeah, looking at the race recap, Only one caution, that early caution at the beginning of the race. 6 lead changes, 3 pit stops, green flag racing. So great job by these drivers to keep it clean after that caution. Dakota Floyd now into P2 as we look at him right now. It's about 1.9 seconds behind our other championship running driver, Joshua Banks. He's been able to take control of this lead. Looks like all he needs to do is stay in front of Dakota Floyd or finish 11 positions higher than Bailey Turner, who's sitting in P6. So not something Joshua Banks could afford to lose the lead right now.
Been a decent recovery for the 24. He fell back to about 17th. Remember the lap 7 yellow? He stayed out. Majority of the field pit. He fell back. He started gaining spots back on a different strategy, slightly older tires, but I think he'll be content. I don't know about content, but he definitely won't be happy. He will at least maybe be content that he's been able to sit in the 6th position right now. He might lose another spot to Stravato to fall back to 7th, but really no pressure after the 33. So he's been able to manage this as well as he could have, but still needs a little bit of things to go his way because the 35 is right where he wants to be, and the 24 not liking the sight of that.
Yeah, the 35 is where he wants to be. The 24 sees that his time in his timing screen that Banks is in the head. However, he knows that Floyd probably has that fresh tires, but looking at the last laps, it's pretty dead even between Banks and Floyd for timing. So it's really going to take a miracle right now for Bailey Turner to be in a championship winning position. Looks like Joshua Banks is in full control of his destiny now.
We documented these two, both season champions in Saturday Night Racing League already. Banks did it back in season 3, beat Jeff Wright by 6 points for that title. Got it done at Las Vegas. Bailey Turner did it the season after in season 4, also fended off Jeff Wright, also fended off Joshua Banks, among others. Banks was able to do it, I believe, this very car, in the O'Reilly car. The next season, it was the Cup Series car, the next gen. Turner took it in that. And then last season, season 5, it went back to the 48 of Jeff Wright, who became the first multi-time champion in the series history. But no surprise it's come down to these two. Bailey Turner sits second in the all-time wins list with 17. Banks right behind him with 14. They both have 4 wins on the season, as Michael Jones brings it down the pit lane, a lap or 2 down. But no surprise it's come down to these two. And it's already been a crazy race.
Yeah, crazy race indeed. Starting of lap 83, we still probably have one more pit stop in the books for these drivers. Looking at the rest of the field, Philip Brewer starting to make his charge after being a late, or no, actually, let me check it. I think he was a late pit stop driver, but it looks like he's starting to make his way through. But this battle between Bailey and the rest of the top 5 is heating up.
Justin Ritchie pit a little later than everyone else. The 44 is really the first driver to pit as Bailey Turner starts to charge. He's going to get by. Maybe he's going to at least fend off the 33 of Stravato for the time being. 98 J.R. Shepard, he's starting to fade. 24 looked to the inside. 98 shut the door. You could see that error wash that 24 has to deal with because of it. 33 is going to get that spot. He might get a second if he looks to the inside of a 98, which he will.
Yeah, I mean, with that happening in front of Bailey Turner right now, really do not need to force the issue on his part. I know that he sees that Joshua Banks is in the lead, but he still has more control on winning the championship than Joshua Banks. Joshua Banks needs to win this race in order to become champion. But Bailey just needs to survive and finish where he is relatively right now to be champion.
You know, all Turner can hope for is if he can't catch that 35 himself, he's the biggest fan of the 57. I will tell you that for sure. He is hoping that that 57 of Dakota Floyd can chase him down for the lead, but it just hasn't happened with the fresher tires. It's almost stabilized at this point. That time by nearly identical laps. In fact, Banks was a few hundredths faster as the track temp back up to 130 because the shade has gone away, but the progress with the 57 stopped, which is not what the 24 wants to see.
Yeah, I mean, the 57 did everything that he needed to do, did run in clean air, so he probably could, he did go longer than Joshua Banks, but the wave fell to him. Now Joshua Banks is in the lead in clean air. Both drivers are in clean air. Looking at the lap times now, Joshua Banks about a 10th faster that lap. So I don't know if it's just the mid race. The rubber is now on the track a lot more than where we are in the beginning of the race. The race has really fell into Joshua Banks' hands now.
Falling into his hands, but still a long way to go. While we have the time, we can look through the field just a little bit. Philip Brewer has come down the pit lane, by the way. He was on the early side the previous run. He's on the early side this run. You'll have to go just over 50 laps to the end on that set, which will be a tall task. But go through the field. Joshua Banks, talked about him a lot tonight, no doubt. The series points leader as it stands. He wins the race. He wins the title. Simple enough. 1.8 second lead over the 57 right now of Dakota Floyd. Floyd dominated the first part of this race. 35 laps led. Banks about to pass him for most laps led, I would assume, but still a good run for Floyd, looking for career victory number 1. Kenny Kibbe, haven't talked about him a lot. He's a quiet driver a lot of the time. He's had his good runs, chances at victories. Just hasn't happened this season, but he's still in a good position, albeit 5 seconds back of Joshua Banks. Angelo Horonis, good run for him so far. He was running 4th. He's actually just lost that spot to Stravato, as we saw this on the last run. Stravato good on the long run. It's paying off. He also has slightly fresher tires, so he's gotten through to 4th. That puts Horonis back to 5th. J.R. Shepard, nearly a winner this season multiple times. Kind of the same song as Kenny Kibbe. So close yet so far. Looking for a top 5 points finish this season. That would be about 2 of the last 3 seasons, if not 3 seasons in a row, if I'm not mistaken. He runs 6th. Bailey Turner came in tonight the points leader, needing to win or at least defend the 35 from winning. It just hasn't worked out for him. The speed's okay, but he'll tell you himself, probably not good enough with a Celsius Chevy Camaro. He's just waiting for something to happen to go his way. And that's a long way back to 8th position. Those top 7 have really separated themselves. 4 seconds back of Turner is Reggie Ortega. He's had a solid run in the 8th position for the time being, as we're almost to those pit stops, but a good run for Ortega. Justin Ritchie, same thing. He had his moment. Remember, he has some of the freshest tires in the field right now as far as the drivers who pit on the last round of pit stops. He sits 9th, looking for another top 10 to round out this season, which I believe, if I'm not mistaken, would be his 8th of the season. And then back rounding out that top 10, it's actually a battle. Bryce Shoemaker wants it. Jeff Wright's trying to keep it, but a good 3-car battle for 10th in the meantime.
Yeah, it looks like the 48 starting to come back. Jeff Wright had that issue with the damage. Let's take a look. Did he get that fixed? Looks like it might be fixed. I'm not 100% sure. I think
It still looks bent.
yeah, it looks like a little bent, but he's not struggling as hard as he was earlier. So Jeff Wright starting to come back a little bit, but this battle for this top 10 final position, 2 final positions in the top 10, excuse me, starting to heat up.
Yeah, Wright, Shoemaker, Stephen Davis all on top of each other. While we were talking about going through the field, Bailey Turner brought it down the pit lane on a differing strategy. Had to come down a little earlier, so he's going to have to use those fresh tires in a big way this run to try to fight that 35 off a little bit. So Turner's out and away. He'll get out really right in front of this pack, which will probably play huge dividends. He'll come out in clean air.
Yeah, in clean air does put him in an awkward position right now. It's going to be a situation where he has to let the race come to him. It could be really tempting to go real hard right now. Try to put yourself in a position where if everything falls out, you might be in the top 5, you might be in the top 3. We're going to have to see with this race starting to wind down.
Philip Brewer is trying to get past those 2 guys battling for the 9th position. Meanwhile, a little further back, 44 sliding actually. Almost hit the wall trying to pass these 2, but I think they'll sort themselves out. A little further back, get a few more guys in the field. Christopher Hodges, a solid 12th place run. A new Pokemon paint scheme on that 15. Looks pretty sporty on a Mustang. He runs 12th. Far back to Brian Chambliss. He went the longest of anyone on the last run. I cannot imagine he can make it on fuel, but he does have the freshest tires in the field. He's still got a long way to go if he wants to make it. Austin Belke talked about a solid run for him in the top 15. He runs 14th. Same for Broderick Vaclavic in that number 7 hot and now Toyota Supra. He's in 15th. Ryan Carwell lap down. Case Lakatos, haven't talked about him a lot in that, same paint scheme he's ran all season. I apologize for not being able to name the sponsor, but same paint scheme he's ran all season. Actually, it's not. It's actually a pretty sporty paint scheme. He runs 16th. Haven't talked about, and that's everyone on the lead lap, actually. Shout out Brandon Wallace, who's in 17th on a differing strategy. He also went long on the last strategy. He's back in 17th. Looks like 18th is actually Chad Klinger, so I wonder, we didn't really know Chad Klinger being that far off the pace. Could have been a speeding penalty for him.
Could have been. I'm trying to see if there was any. I'm not getting any incidents from him. Not maybe.
Oh yeah, he sat in his box, lap 55. He definitely had a speeding penalty on entry, which is exactly why he's a lap down, which is a shame because he was running so well. Meanwhile, more pit stops. We're trying to get all those guys noted before we got the pit stops. J.R. Shepard's another driver pitting, as well as Austin Belke.
Yeah, these drivers going for their last pit stop for this race. It should be good here on out on fuel. Really interesting with this green flag run. Not much happening in terms of action. The battle for the championship has heated up. As we said, Bailey Turner is a lap down. He did come down to get his final set of tires. Believe he does have a couple extra sets in the bag in case this race has a couple cautions in it. Joshua Banks still out there on, it looks like he's coming down the pit lane right now, maybe.
Low on the racetrack.
No.
Maybe blinking a little bit as well, but not pitting yet. Don't want to pit too early, but don't really want the 57 to get the jump on you in clean air because we saw it did not work going along with the 57. So I can't imagine a 35 wants to make that same mistake as Kenny Kibbe comes down the pit from the 3rd spot.
Yeah, Kenny Kibbe coming down as well. Another driver who can challenge for a podium position tonight. You did bring up a good point. Dakota Floyd went longer, I believe maybe 5 laps longer than Joshua Banks. I'm not 100% sure on my math, but
Here we go. And just like that, we're talking about he probably needs to undercut, and he's going to do just that. He's going to slide it. Did he speed on entry, though? I don't see a black flag, so
Me
he
neither.
must have gotten away with it. So he's still in the fight for the time being. That's going to make Joshua Banks think about that final pit stop.
Yeah, the ball now is in Joshua Banks' court. The other driver that was challenging you for this race win tonight is now down on pit road. Does Joshua Banks respond quickly, or does he go a little bit further? I think he's slowing down right
He's
now.
responding. Yep. He's not even going to let the 57 think about jumping him as he's really deep on brakes. He used all of the pit entry to get on the pit entry on the pit lane. You see Floyd in the forefront, getting off of his box, getting back on track, but Banks was not going to risk it.
Yeah, it has to be a really good pit stop by Joshua Banks' crew if he wants to get ahead of Dakota Floyd. Dakota Floyd is out of the pits right now, so he's coming up to speed. The benefit for Banks, though, he has that #1 pit stall. Not a long run for him to get out of those pits.
And I think a big advantage is I don't know if it was necessarily the fastest, but I think his entry is more smooth than the 57. I can imagine Dakota Floyd probably lost some time just getting it woed down, and that could play a factor. Banks is already out and away. Floyd is out of turn #4 for the time being. Justin Ritchie and Reggie Ortega have had contact. Ortega's still going to make the pits, but he has damage. But the race for the lead on pit exit, Banks is coming through turns 1 and 2 on the apron right now. Dakota Floyd full head of steam. It's going to be a drag race in the turn #3. Banks onto the track. Here comes Dakota Floyd with warm tires. This could be the battle for Banks championship right now, and they're going to be side by side for it.
Yeah, Dakota Floyd is going all beans in that Dr. Pepper Super right now. It's really up to Joshua Banks. He's getting his tires up to speed. One more lap, and it's going to be a little bit harder for Dakota Floyd to get past. The dirty air will hurt Dakota Floyd a little bit, but it looks like Joshua Banks is in full control right now.
He threw it into turn #1 to get away from the 57, and just by an inch, just inches really, he's able to get in front of Dakota Floyd, get that cleaner air. That could be huge for him. A lot more pit stops. Car in the grass is Broderick Lavick. He has missed pit lane. That will be a penalty. Lakatos is pit. Chambliss, AJ Stravado, who will have fresher tires that we'll have to note, as well as Christopher Hodges. They've all come down the pit lane that lap. As the 35 of Banks, that's exactly what he needed to do. He knew he needed to respond, and he did just that.
Yeah, lesson learned immediately. He benefited from undercutting earlier on Dakota Floyd. Dakota Floyd tried to do a fast one on him. He responded quickly, like you said, and the championship has now fully swung his way. Looking through the field, let's find the other driver of the 24. Bailey Turner is sitting in 3rd. Of course, he is on older tires compared to Joshua Banks. The championship battle is really going to come ahead in the next few laps.
Just wonder when a 35 gets there, how hard does Bailey Turner battle him? Because he knows he can't have the 35 winning the race. He's probably, if it was me, I'm holding up the 35 as much as I can and giving the 57 all the clean air possibly.
Yeah, Bailey Turner right now is hoping there is a caution sometime soon. This would be the perfect moment for it to be frozen where it is right now. It would be a battle between the two to the end, but he would be on same lap tires as Joshua Banks, assuming that everybody pits. We're going to see what happens in these winding down laps.
More pit stops previous lap. John Sanu, Vaclavic came down to serve his penalty. Brandon Wallace off of pit exit. Still waiting on 2 drivers to pit, Justin Ritchie and Stefan Davis. Bailey Turner right now would cycle to the race lead, but we know those older tires likely will not hold up, as Ritchie's led 4 laps so far. Maybe another one, hoping probably for a yellow to get some key track position here.
Yeah, this is what these drivers are hoping for. Looking at Banks right now, Banks is coming closer and closer. That last lap, he was almost 2 seconds faster than Bailey Turner. We're getting to the battle right now.
It's not going to be much of a battle. Not much Turner can do to prevent the 35 from going by. Try to give him all a dirty air. He couldn't 1 and 2. The tire difference is just too much. So right now, as it stands, Joshua Banks would cycle out to be the race leader.
Yeah, indeed. He would become the race leader, waiting for Justin Ritchie and Stefan Davis and his Bell South paint. I love this paint scheme by him. One of my favorite old school paint schemes by Stefan Davis. But yeah, like we said, Joshua Banks would be the assumed leader if we all cycle out correctly. And Bailey Turner may be seeing his championship hopes drive away.
And there's not much he can do besides hope and pray for something to go his way in the form of a caution. He'll, I would assume, let Dakota Floyd by, try to chase him down. But Floyd, remember, he has, a lap older tires, and he's already lost over a second to the 35.
Yeah, Dakota Floyd did run a great strategy, but the undercuts proved to be powerful. Tried to do it on Joshua Banks, but Joshua Banks, probably because sitting in that first pit stall, was able to get out of pit road. Also had a better pit entry than Dakota Floyd. A lot of things that could have gone his way did not end up going his way.
Stefan Davis peels off the pit lane, leaves just Justin Ritchie as the last domino to fall as far as pit strategy, and then everyone will be cycled out. Everyone will be going to the end at that point. I just saw John Sanu tap the wall, but he's kept it straight. Everyone flirting with the wall at the end of this race. Final of the season. You're probably going to get closer to the wall than you ever have this season. J.R. Shepard, one of those drivers on that alternate strategy with Bailey Turner. His pace has not been the same as Turner's this run and the previous run even, but he is in the 6th position.
Yeah, J.R. Shepard going up to the lap car of Mikhail Jones, just trying to get past. Running a really good race so far. Could potentially get a top 5, only sitting about 8/10 away from Kenny Kibbe. But he does have 2 laps older tires than Kibbe. Bailey Turner is a lot older than he is, so there is a chance that he does get that top 5 tonight.
Still waiting on Ritchie to pit. Gap's 9.5 seconds back to Banks, who has already made that pit stop as we close in. This time by will be 31. Next time by will be 30 laps to go in Season 6 of Saturday Night Racing League. The Matco Tools Toyota Supra has been in control. It will not be easy. It will not be considered easy if he holds on to his title no matter what. Everything he had to go through in this race, getting put into the grass, coming from outside the top 10 up to 2nd in a single run on tires, getting the lead away due to strategy, a little bit of an undercut, and then the immediate response to the 57's undercut, getting out just in front of him. It's made all the difference this run especially, and Joshua Banks has 30 more laps before he's a 2-time Saturday Night Racing League champion.
Yeah, really great run. Had some adversity to deal with in the beginning, sliding through the grass, as we saw earlier. Able to work his way back up to the top 3. Does the undercut on Dakota Floyd, who was leading most of this race, and now has fallen into the assumed lead once Justin Ritchie pits, but he's going for another lap. But once Justin Ritchie pits, Joshua Banks will be our assumed leader.
Justin Ritchie pit last, lap 66. Be a miracle to go 74 laps on a tank of gas. Very unlikely to happen, but you catch a yellow, never know what could happen for him. That's good enough English right now. But either way, it's been a good run for the 55. But just waiting for that yellow to hopefully fall his way.
Yeah, looking at Chad Klinger, he was a driver up, and he looks like he's coming down pit lane.
Yep.
It looks like he had a good run in the beginning of the race, but has not really fallen his way since. So he's going to fall down 1 lap down. Not really a race that he wants to recall for the end of the season.
speeding penalty on the first round of green flag stops has definitely plagued him. It just has not been the season. He's been a lot of incidents either of his doing, unfortunately, or not of his doing. Just not much gone the 09's way. Former winner in this series, only two top 5s to his name, 5 top 10s, down 26th in points. Been a title threat in seasons past in 09, but literally everything that could go wrong has gone wrong for the 09.
Yeah, that's tough to hear right there, but some years it goes your way, some years it won't. You just got to learn your lessons that when they come and take them and apply them for the next season that you run, put yourself in a better situation. Looking at Justin Ritchie has the 9 of Brian Chambliss trying to get his lap back. And Justin Ritchie, he's still running out there. 47 laps on his tires right now. I gotta assume his car is begging for some fresh rubber right now.
He could probably take it 15 to 20 more laps, but will he be able to do it is the question. He's going to probably run this until the fuel does go dry or until the tire blows out, one or the other. But a little bit of battling at a turn number 4. There is one battle for positions. John Sanu, Broderick Vakalavic, they're battling with J.R. Shepard trying to get by him because they have slightly fresher tires, but at the same time, they're battling for position. They're both 2 laps down for the time being.
Yeah. It's really hard when you get deeper into this race to choose your battles wisely. J.R. Shepard is just running out there. He's trying to catch up to Bailey Turner, get that final P5 position, but then he has drivers who are battling for their own positions, not in the same situation, but it looks like he's able to start pulling away as these 2 drivers are still going at it.
It's probably frustrating for Shepard being in the top 6 and having to let these guys by. Obviously, by the way, quick note, the only retirements of this race, there's only 3 of them. And right now, 2 of them, Chuck Sweeting, Elliott Butler, out in that lap 7 crash that had the 6 spinning like a top and the 75 nowhere to go. Third retirement of the race was the 3 of Andrew Telganoff, who won at Daytona and Atlanta. Just kind of pulled off during the green flag pit stops, never returned to the track. So only 3 retirements. We still have 25 drivers on the track, all the way back to Matt Shanowski, who's 7 laps down, and currently only 14 drivers on the lead lap.
Yeah, I'm just remembering Chuck Sweeting. It really unfortunate for him. Probably was looking forward to one of these tracks that he really enjoys. And just getting caught up in Elliott Butler's spin. Not much he could have done. A really sad way to end your season. I'm sure he had fun, but I really feel bad that he wasn't able to enjoy his last race of the season.
Another driver who made the chase and just wasn't quite a title contender, but still enjoyed a very solid season. 1 top 5, 3 top 10s, and a lot of consistent finishes in the top 15. Still was hoping to get a top 10 points finish. Likely not to happen. Angelo Herrón is still in the race. Will likely pass him in points. Justin Ritchie, see if he gets to the top 10 in points. And we'll see if he ever decides to bring it to pit lane. He's definitely going to run it out of gas.
Yeah, I mean, Justin Ritchie is pulling the Brandon Wallace method right now. I know Brandon Wallace is a driver who likes to run it long, but Justin Ritchie, you're in the lead. You have ran 52 laps on your tires. You never know what may happen. In this situation, I agree. Go as far as you can, but do what you can. But he's really putting on a show for everybody right now.
There's no reason not to. Has been looking at the 35 of Banks. He's still in the 2nd spot. I heard him on the radio. It sounded like he was complaining about the 50 not letting him by. That has since been remedied. 50 has pulled aside, one of those drivers who was 1 lap down.
Yeah, I mean, Joshua Banks, I'm sure he means it well, but he's fighting for a championship and
always means it well.
Yeah. I mean it well when I'm running officials, but maybe not. Well, but I understand why Joshua Banks is saying that. He's running for a championship. He knows that he needs that clean air, not really trying to sit behind a car and really mess up his tires, especially if that car makes the mistakes in front of him, similar to what Chuck Sweeting had happen. And then he's out of the race. What can you do at that point? So I understand why he says that to the driver right now.
Meanwhile, it's finally cycled. Justin Ritchie finally says, I can't do this anymore, brings it down the pit lane, and with 20 laps to go, 30 miles to go, Joshua Banks has reassumed the lead of the race, and once again, the lead of the championship. Once again, we beat it like a dead horse. If he wins the race, he wins the championship. Very, very simple right now. It's all he can do right now. Bailey Turner running 5th. He has to win the race, and Bailey Turner is just trying to hang on the 5th right now. It's actually the biggest battle on the racetrack currently, trying to hold off J.R. Shepard for 5th.
Yeah, J.R. Shepard really putting on the pressure. 5 lap fresher tires than Bailey Turner. Bailey Turner, all he can hope for is a caution to happen to really bring the field back together and possibly put a challenge to Banks. But the way they've been driving all race, except for that one caution, it's been really great driving, really great respect by all the drivers out there. So not much Bailey Turner can hope for. You never know. About 18 laps to go in this race. We'll see what happens.
Richie comes out right in front of that pack of cars, obviously one lap down. Bailey Turner just trying to fend off Shepard everything he's got, even though he's got older tires than the 98 and the 33. Noted AJ Stravato, he was running third on a different strategy. He decided to go long compared to the 35 and 57, and just like the previous run, the undercut was just the way to go. He just cannot quite get by these guys.
Yeah, the undercut with this temperature out here proving to be the method for this race really has benefited Joshua Banks, who's in the lead right now, and really hurt a driver like Bailey Turner, who's trying to do the opposite strategy and has not really worked out his way.
Got that extra tire set. Looks like he's going to be, he's really got 2 tire sets laying back. He's likely going to have to bring one to Daytona at this rate. It just hasn't worked. Same thing for J.R. Shepard. I mean, both drivers, fair to them, they've been able to keep it in the top 5, even having stayed out and lost all that time. Shows how much pace they really had. They just picked the wrong strategy.
Yeah, the wrong strategy. You got to try something. You never know what's going to work, especially at a track like Kansas, knowing that green flag running is happening. What you could throw is throwing a dart to the board. Whatever sticks. It may work. It may not work. It's worked Joshua Banks' way. It's worked Dakota Floyd's way, but it hasn't worked out for these drivers. But a top 5 finish to end out the season is still a respectable finish.
And this race at Kansas has been all over the schedule. We've had it beginning of the year, middle of the year, and finally this time, the first time it's been a season finale. But no, we've had no more than 4 cautions all 5 times we've come here. And right now it's looking to be pretty much the same, as Turner doing good defense right now, hanging on to is the 4th position. I mentioned it was 5th. That was before the 55 had come down to pit lane, but hanging on the 4th for the time being, as Kenny Kibbe, Dakota Floyd, Joshua Banks, they've all pulled away. Pretty much the closest battle on track. The other close battle is for 11th. Christopher Hodges has pulled away from it, so it's really the battle for 12th between Bryce Shoemaker and Brian Chambliss.
Yeah, still battles for the top 10. To finalize this season, only 16 cars on the lead up right now. Justin Ritchie, who was our leader for a little bit of this race, the last one to come down for fresh tires, he's making his move now for that position in the top 15, gets the move done. I expect Justin Ritchie, with about 15 to go, he probably will make his way up to the top 10, probably finish in the top 10. But as you said, just battles on track is really just finalizing their final places before we finish out this race.
I'd say it's a pretty good strategy if he can get back to the top 10, but a long way to get to Philip Brewer, who does hold that 10th spot. Meanwhile, 5th position has changed hands, or at least it's almost going to change hands. Gerardo got to the inside of J.R. Shepard, and they're going to go side by side. That gives Bailey Turner some room to keep that 4th spot.
Yeah, Bailey Turner's pretty happy to see these guys go side by side right now. Gives him a break. Doesn't have to really worry about one of them pushing the envelope on him right now. But Bailey Turner's out there just cruising, hoping something happens. You never know what can happen up until the end. But Bailey Turner just doing what he can right now.
He's controlled what he can. It's up to the racing gods at this point, as Shade comes over the corners, and it'll probably come over the entire track again as this battle continues for 5th. Shepard and Stravato both trying to end on a high note to end this season, as 33 is firing into the corner. We know Stravato, everyone knows it's hard to pass. Everyone knows the 33 a lot of the time is one of those drivers who gets frustrated when he can't pass, and this is no different coming down to the end of the race.
Yeah, really hurting J.R. Shepard's chance of getting into the top 5. Stravato with 6 slot fresher tires, so looks like the battle is coming to a close here right now. Then he's going to put pressure on Bailey Turner. Really going to see what happens here, but J.R. Shepard still can get that top 5 if Stravato is able to hold up Bailey Turner.
Stravato going to definitely try to get by Bailey Turner. I mean, he knows there's no reason for Turner, nothing in it as far as title concerns for Turner with the 35 leading. The Shepard's actually going to have another run back on the 33. Not quite the case. It's still a 3-car battle for 4th. 7th place pretty far back in the form of Angelo Horonis. Jeff Wright, Reggie Ortega, they've been glued to each other this entire race. I mean, they've been bumper to bumper battling for a position pretty much all night.
Yeah, Jeff Wright unfortunate to have that damage that really made his car looser than he wanted it to, but able to still stick around in the top 10 as he had those older tires. So really good job by him right now.
Track temp continues to fade, by the way. More shade on the track later in the day. It's almost down. It is down to the low 120s as we've reached 10 laps of racing to go in the season. Next time by, it will be 9 laps to go as Banks comes out of turn number 4. The battle for the lead has not been a question since the 35 got out in front of Dakota Floyd. It's a 3+ second gap for the driver of the Matco Tools Toyota Supra.
Yeah. Once again, that undercut really worked out. Defended the undercut from Floyd when those pit stops happened. And I'm really impressed by what Banks has done all race with the adversity he dealt with in the beginning, able to come back, able to put him in a position that can challenge for the lead. And now in the lead, under 10 to go. Joshua Banks, we may be looking at our champion, but we still have some laps left to go.
More positions left to be dealt with. Justin Ritchie's already gotten to 11th, by the way, past Christopher Hodges. So a great battle for him. The 33 of Stravato trying to loosen up the back bumper of the 24. Now it's 7 laps to go. No, 8 laps to go, excuse me.
Yeah.
We talked about it. We compared their 2 title contending seasons. Bailey Turner was dominant in the next-gen car. 7 victories, was never really in doubt. Joshua Banks, it was more about consistency is key in his title season. Remember, they won titles back-to-back. Season 3 for Banks, Season 4 for Turner. It was dominance for the 24. It was consistency for the 35, but this season, the first real title battle 1v1, it's kind of been the same song for both of them. They both ran top 3 in pretty much every chase race. Turner getting the big victory at Bristol last week, put him in the points lead. And Joshua Banks so dejected about it. Once again, they both have 4 wins on the season coming into tonight. You know, Banks was dejected, finished 3rd, kind of gave it away at Bristol, he thought, last week. He knew he was going to have to be confident and brave tonight, and he's been exactly that.
Yeah, honestly, can't complain with how it goes. Looking at Joshua Banks, as you said, under 6 to go. Looks very composed for a champion, potential champion for tonight. Honestly, hitting his marks, as you see, getting down to the bottom, running out to the wall. Honestly, looks like he has this wrapped up in the bag.
But we know he doesn't want to just see the checkered flag. Obviously, he wants to see it, but the one he wants to see first the most, the white flag. We've seen it a lot of times. It could happen at any moment, especially with the battles we have on track, on old tires. He knows it's not over yet. I guarantee you he's just waiting on the yellow, and he's brainstorming what he does if there is a yellow right now.
Yeah, being in the lead with 5 to go, anything can happen. That yellow happening with 2 laps to go really puts pressure on the lead car. Do you come in for 2 tires? Do you come in for 4 tires? Do you stay out and risk the gamble? I honestly don't want to think about that right now, but it could be a possibility.
I get goosebumps just thinking about the possibility of it, but can't say we really want it. It's been such a great race with only the 1 yellow right now, but still not over. 4 laps away from a second title for 35. Still battles going on the racetrack. This one for just outside the top 10. It's for 12th, Brian Chambliss, Christopher Hodges. Haven't viewed the onboard for Hodges all race long in that Pokemon car with the Pokemon in the background. These two battling hard for this position the past 10 or so laps. As the 44, Philip Brewer, hit the outside wall. Justin Ritchie, I didn't think he could get there. He's already into the top 10.
Yeah, Justin Ritchie, like I said, with those fresh tires and the track temp coming down, lower fuel than the rest of the field with fresh tires, I wouldn't be surprised if he gets up to the final 8 positions, but looks like that top 10 will be secured for Justin Ritchie.
Big strategy play to make that work. Hope for the yellow, didn't get it, and if he still comes away with a top 10, I think he'll be a-okay with that. 3 laps of racing to go, and Stravato's tried this middle, just can't get by the 24, and for Bailey Turner, he'll be maybe thinking what if, but honestly, he's got an extra set of tires and he's still running 4th after staying out. He's done about everything he can, and the pace just hasn't been there, and it's been all Joshua Banks on this long run, 2 laps away.
Yeah, Joshua Banks, just 2 more corners until you see that white flag. That elusive white flag will signal to you that you just need to run 4 more corners and the championship is yours. We'll see as it comes up right here.
He's into turn number 3. He just needs to see turn number 4 and see that flag. If he gets to the line this time, he'll have led 61 laps. If he can get them a checkered, he will have led 62 of 140 possible laps. He's got the first flag he wants. He looks, he sees it's real. The white flag is out. The final lap of the Saturday Night Racing League season 6. So many ups and downs, but it's been mostly ups for the driver of the 35. Bad finishes, there's only been 3 or 4 of them. Consistently top 7 in the past 2 or 3 months. He won it season 3 in this very race car, and he has dominated so many races this season. He's one of the greats of this series, no doubt. And it's not just going to be number 15. It's going to be number 2. A second championship for Joshua Banks. Banksy the iRacer, Saturday Night Racing League champion of season 6.
Yeah, what a showing by Joshua Banks. You could see the emotion coming out from him right there. That's what it's all about. It might be virtual racing, may not make sense for a lot of people, but this right here, winning a championship, going through a full season with competitors, this is what it's all about.
The cars are virtual. The racing is oh so real.
Oh, 100%. Dakota Floyd giving his props to the champion of season 6, Joshua Banks. As you see right here, Joshua Banks is just elated to be champion right now. Nothing that he could have asked more for. I'm sure he's going to burn it down, and the emotions are just coming out right now.
I think Bailey Turner wanted to congratulate him. He kind of slid him a little bit too much, but 2 drivers, Banks and Turner, they went through a lot of ups and downs themselves. They had so many controversial moments in this series and other series, but also much respect between the 24 and the 35. I'm thankful we get to talk to both of them, but it's all about Joshua Banks. The night he needed, he faced a lot of controversy early, but he deserving driver, the best driver of the night, and arguably, not really arguably, the best driver of the season. The number 35 gets title number 2.
Burning it down in front of the Kansas fans right now. Honestly, Joshua Banks, burn it down. You did so well. You were in that grass earlier in the race. I think it's now more appropriate to go in there and put some burnouts in it.
He's definitely been the king of the grass. He's been the king of everything, and even hit it into the wall to pass Tech. So can't do anything about it in Tech now. 2-time Joshua Banks, Banksy the iRacer on YouTube. He's got another one to add to the collection. One of the great drivers of this series has done it again. We will be back in just a little bit of time to wrap up the top 10, wrap up the race, and get our interviews with the top 3, including likely Bailey Turner, who finished 4th. We'll likely try to get an interview with him as well, as we'll wrap this up in just a little bit of time. Stay with us for a post-race recap. We'll be right back. Donnie Kite's going to get through it all and score his first career win in the Saturday Night Racing League Cup Series. What a finish!
Too little, too late from behind, and Sebastian Marin, your first repeat top split winner of the qualifying series.
We knew it was just a matter of time. Hunter Sr. is victorious.
Josh Adams taking the win at Iowa.
GC Spider Motorsports takes home the 1, 2, 3 finish.
Drivers, start your printers.
To keep pace with the ever-changing landscape of marketing and advertising, let Clark Print Shop help you spot the trends and keep you in front of the pack with all your color printing needs. From business cards to invitations, menus to mugs, we can print anything you need on paper or your choice of over 3,000 promotional items. Visit www.clarkprintshop.com to browse our online catalog and place your order today, or call us at 276-889-3426. For a limited time, use the code iRacing for 23% off your first purchase. The staff at Clark Print Shop looks forward to handling all your color printing needs.
Introducing Tractor USA, the best way to buy and sell premium ag and construction equipment. Tractor USA was designed to be straightforward, simple, and affordable with zero commission and live auctions every week. Tractor USA auctions offer the finest selection of pre-owned tractors, combines, and other ag and construction equipment from across the United States and the world. Simply go to tractorusa.com to get started today.
Walking and rolling costumes started when my son Reese was born with cancer.
So when I was 3 years old, I got my first wheelchair.
And he wanted to be Wall-E for Halloween that year. And so I knew you couldn't buy a costume to go on a wheelchair at that time. So I knew I had to build one.
My dad ended up building a Wall-E costume out of a Dell computer box.
When we were all finished, he loved it. We took pictures of it and shared it on social media. So many people started sharing it that we started getting requests from people we didn't know.
In 2015, we decided to build them for other kids because people were asking, hey, can you build them for my kid?
So we started the nonprofit organization, Walking and Rolling Costumes, and we build costumes for kids all over the nation, free of charge to the families.
It came down to the final race, the 22nd race of the season. It came down to win or go home, basically, between the top two in the championship and the clutch man of the day. The clutch man of the season, Joshua Banks, the most dominant drive, maybe of his career, and he needed it. He wins the race. He wins his second career Saturday Night Racing Championship, and he does it emphatically. Like I mentioned, he dominated tonight, 4-second gap over Dakota Floyd. Dakota Floyd was not in a title battle, but he was oh so close to his first career win tonight. He just didn't have what Banks had tonight. He tried to undercut, not close enough. He ends up second. Kenny Kibbe, the quiet man, he goes up 20 positions, by the way, 23rd to 3rd. A great run for him. He would be the biggest mover of the race by far, so congrats to him on that. I'm sure he'll take a P3. And Bailey Turner, he basically needed to make sure Banks didn't win this race. The strategy at the start did not pay off. It's a great 4th place, but it just wasn't enough. We'll talk to all 4. We usually talk to the top 3, but we will have to talk to Bailey Turner, the runner-up in the title race as well. AJ Stravato, by the way, couldn't get by Turner. He ends up 5th. J.R. Shepard up to 6th. Angel Horonis, a good, solid, quiet effort for 7th. Jeff Wright will be thinking what could have been. He could have gotten title number 3. He just did not have what it took this season. He'll be looking to season 7 to get title number 3. He ends up 8th. Justin Ritchie, what a drive, up to 9th on the fresh tires. Hit the latest of anyone. Ends up in the top 10. Reggie Ortega, he'll be happy with a solid top 10 to end his season. Philip Brewer in the 11th spot. This strategy didn't really go his way. Chris Hodges 12th, Chambliss 13th. Hodges won that battle between those two. Stephen Davis 14th, Bryce Shoemaker 15th, and the last driver on the lead lap. Belke 16th, Licata 17th, Wallace 18th, Chad Klinger, even with a speeding penalty, able to at least get a top 20 out of the day. And Michael Jones, we didn't talk about him a lot. He ended up 20th. And then the final running order, Keith Shoemaker, John Sinu, and then pretty much everyone else had big troubles. Ryan Carwile was in that lap 7 crash. In fact, Lavick had a penalty. Matt Shinosky was also in the lap 7 crash, ends up 7 laps down. And then the only drivers not to finish the race tonight, Andrew Telganoff, Elliott Butler, and Chuck Sweeting. But that is your 28-car running order to end this season. And it is about time we get, I guess technically the ceremonies, but I think there's really only one guy that's going to be super duper excited. And it's got to be the guy streaming live, Banksy the iRacer. He's finally done it again, 3 seasons later. He's a 2-time champion of Saturday Night Racing League. Joshua, you had the good start to the race. You had the contact with the 48 through the grass. You persevered, got to the lead. How much does this mean?
A lot, Connor, a lot. Like, I thought that first one was huge because you broke a barrier, winning your first one. But I'm telling you, the determination and the work that went into this race, it paid off for sure. I did think we had a little damage on the front end when we got involved with Jeff. So I was a little nervous about that, and the car felt a little different when I got back off of the grass, but I could have been just cleaning the tires off. But other than that, dude, what a drive. Hell of a drive. I ain't gonna lie. This is crazy.
I can imagine. It looked crazy from our point of view. I thought it was kind of decided because I thought you had damage. Maybe you did, maybe you didn't. But either way, you got all the way to second before the first set of pit stops. You did the undercuts pretty much the first time to perfection. But then that last pit stop was obviously the most crucial to win you the title. I mean, how important was it to defend the undercut from the 57? Because that clean air seemed to matter so much once you did it to him.
Oh yeah. I knew we needed it. And this car, it just wears the tires out right now. I mean, with this track state you could wear them out so quickly. And if you're behind somebody, it would just kill the tires, I feel like. So you definitely could see that. Obviously, I was able to work through some of the field, though, thankfully, to gain backtrack position, that little incident. So we could pass, but once I got to Dakota, it just couldn't do anything. So I needed to get in front of them, stay in front of them. And luckily, I don't know how that pit exit was perfect. I saw him coming off of 4, and I was like, all right, we've got a chance. Even if he gets to the inside, I can defend this. And it was just game on from there. So it just worked out flawlessly. Never have had a race go flawless. I know we had a couple of incidents, but coming back from that and having everything go flawless is huge. Um, Hard to believe, really hard to believe to be sitting in victory lane with a championship. Good race though to Bailey. I mean, I know or season really. He done the right thing last week, winning at Bristol, putting him in the position to have the points lead. And I needed to execute tonight, like I did, to be able to take it away. So but good season overall for Bailey. Definitely was one of the tough ones to beat. Off strategy kind of put us off a little bit, which a little disappointing to race this one out. But at the same time, I didn't have to worry about it near as much. So you kind of get a catch-22 there. But still, awesome race, good season. I'm sick and I'm tired and I'm glad it's done.
I can tell the relief that in your voice just from talking, and obviously, I'm sure you would have wished to battle Bailey evenly a little bit more. But you guys have gone through your ups and downs. You've had incidents on track. You've ended up being teammates and most certainly friends. And it came down to you two. Is there anyone else you would have rather shared the title fight with? It was a blast to watch all 5 races from up here.
I mean, obviously, Jeff would have definitely made it interesting for sure with a title fight. Philip, I feel like could be another challenger. Um, you know, I think he ran pretty decent. I think what was it, almost top 10 tonight. So, anybody really in this top 10 in points had a chance. If Floyd was up here in points, he would have been a good threat. Kenny Kibbe for sure. J.R. Shepard. I mean, they're all those guys would have been tough racers to beat for a championship too. So it ain't like, it was easy by any means. I mean, when we began this race, JR was hugging my tail early on, and I was a little worried about that because I didn't want to make it a difficult race to try to win, but that strategy call helped out. But either way, man, overall, it's a great season. I said it again once, and I said it again. A great season. Great season.
And no one had a better season than you, no doubt. Ends up being 5 wins and a second championship, Joshua. We've said it a lot this season, but obviously this one has a little extra meaning, not just the win, but the championship. How many people you want to thank or shout out for this one?
Well, we got to shout out first and foremost my wife for putting up with me. She has been last few days has been doing a lot, and honestly, this week because I have put so many laps in practice to try to figure out what the best way to run this car, way to save tires, things of that nature. So shout out to her for allowing me to do this and take it seriously, and something that I'm passionate about. So obviously her taking care of the kids and all that stuff. Big shout out to her, obviously. Excuse me, throat's still sore. So shout out to you guys up in the booth for what y'all do each and every week. It's been a great season, and I'm pretty sure for the broadcast booth, it's been a great race season to watch. Definitely thank you guys for all that you have done, and we definitely look forward to next season, of course. But shout out to you guys for all our admins and partners on board. They do a great job with this league. We've 6 seasons strong, and I don't think it's slowing down. So keep on doing what we're doing, keep building the league. And it's going to get tougher. I feel like, more competition is going to be coming in down the road. So it's going to get tougher. So grabbing these championships while we can is huge. Just hope we can continue this and keep it up. But obviously our sponsors, we got me, M&J Distributors, and then we got Walk and Roller Costumes, Clark Print Shop, 29 Graphics, FireStorm Racing, JS Studios. all those guys that have been on board, we appreciate them so much for allowing us to race and doing what we love to do each and every week. So look forward to them hopping on board next season, hopefully. So I know I will be, because it's just too good of a league to not be a part of. So yeah, I'm tired. It's been a long season, and I'm ready to go take a nap.
I know. Sorry to make you talk a lot, but final race of the season, we got to go hard on post race. And, talent comes and goes, but third all time in wins and tied for most titles with Jeff Wright. A lot of people call you a lot of things. I've definitely called you things on track in the past, I'll be honest. But you can definitely be called two-time from now on, Banksy. Congratulations on a second championship, a great drive. Thanks for talking to us. And we don't know when this season, 7 will start up, but we'll be sure to see you at Daytona.
It'll start, but like you said, we don't know. But we'll get that figured out later in the day. But right now, we're going to enjoy it and ride the high right now, brother.
Not a victory beer, but a victory nap, and it'll feel all the same. Congratulations again, Joshua. Thanks for talking to us. We'll see you in the new season.
All right, buddy. Appreciate you.
We appreciate him as well. We got the feeling of victory, and then on the other side of things, before we get to go to Floyd, who finished in the second position, I feel it's only right to get the Bailey Turner, who came in tonight the points leader, and he just did not end up claiming the title. We'll get to Bailey in just a moment, but Bailey, we talked to Joshua, and we got to come to you. Obviously, a great run for fourth, but obviously, I know you were looking for more, and I know it's disappointing. How frustrating is it to not really have that chance to get up and battle him?
Yeah, definitely. Not what we were looking for. I was kind of faking to go into pit road, and I guess I should have committed because we all of a sudden decided to stop wrecking. Feel like it sucks to lose a championship on a lap 7 strategy call because I felt like we did have some pretty good pace tonight. I mean, even on the old tires, we were keeping up with some of the guys, and you hate to lose one that way. I don't really have too many other words other than just frustrating for sure.
I know it's definitely frustrating and a hard one to swallow, but to even get fourth with a tire set laying in the pits, I mean, it was at least a valiant drive to try to get up there. And what did you think your pace was going into the race if you had even tires? Like you mentioned, you thought you had good pace, and to be fourth, even after falling outside the top 15, the pace was definitely there, and the strategy just was a little bit off.
Yeah, we started P6, got immediately up to P3, and just started to ride right there and was keeping it with Josh and those guys and felt real comfortable. If that thing would have went green, I felt very confident based on how hard Josh and JR were driving that we were going to be in a prime position to cycle to the lead. And I don't have a lot to say, man. It's frustrating, to be in the prime position right there going into the race. And I told you the last few weeks, the mile and a half were my Achilles heel this season, and didn't feel like it was Achilles heel tonight. I actually felt like we had great pace. It's just unfortunate set of circumstances. Guys decided they were going to take it easy and not wreck this week, and we wreck every other week of the season. And tonight we decided to go clean.
Went clean for sure. It just didn't work in your favor. I know you've been on both ends of it now. You've won a tight title battle, and this is really the first title battle I can remember in this series that you've come so close and just couldn't close a deal. Unfortunately, I've been on the same end of it, unfortunately. I mean, how much does it at least motivate you for the next season to try and one-up that and come back with a vengeance? Because either way, you had a great season.
Yeah, I'm ready for some time off, if I'm being honest. Saturday night, so I'd like to get my Saturdays back and kind of refresh. Kind of burnt out on this, and I didn't expect to be in this position this season just based on how I feel about the B car. In the A car, I would have had sky high confidence going into this year, and the fact that we made it this far, I wouldn't say it's luck, but I don't know what to say, man. I'm just frustrated. I'm ready to hop off and not think about this for a while.
I know, got a couple more questions. Apologize for holding you a little bit there. Obviously longer on the interviews because it's the final race of the season. I kind of asked Banks the same thing. You guys have went through your ups and downs from probably not liking each other as much to being teammates and actually at least being acquaintances, if not friends, on the racetrack. You've battled very hard and cleanly all season. Was there anyone else you would have rather been in a title battle with besides maybe Adam, but he doesn't run enough? But you guys race respectfully all season long, you and the 35.
Yeah, no, like you said, Banks and I have come a really long way. I mean, there was, not personal, but like on the racetrack hatred there for a little while between us, where we just could not keep it clean, and we were getting into each other, and just, coming full circle now, we're teammates and battling for a championship, and like you said, we're super clean, and Josh has been just lights out this season in this car. So, like I said, the fact that we won at Bristol last week and put ourselves in position was I don't want to say luck, but um, that have a be in that position against Josh was pretty lucky, I guess. I don't know. But yeah, Josh, congrats to him. He earned it. I told him earlier, I was like, man, I just wish we could have, battled it out straight up and it didn't come down to like I said, a lap 7 strategy call. But like I said, well deserved. He's always so fast, and it's been a pleasure to kind of have him in the Discord and work it together as teammates. And I'd rather have Josh on my side than against me for sure.
Definitely worked out in both of your guys' favor. Ended up 1-2 in the title, but I won't keep it too much longer. Just more drivers, or not more drivers, but anyone else you want to thank or shout out on a great season.
Yeah, everybody over there at Side Boys, obviously, Angelo, AJ. AJ, I mean, he was the championship favorite in my opinion going into this, and unfortunately had to miss a week. Uh, yeah, obviously you guys up here in the booth, Bradley, wherever he's at. Um, admins for putting this on, and then obviously all the sponsors, M&J Distributors, Walk and Roll and Costumes. I'm sure I could list 5 more that I'm blanking because I don't have it in front of me at the moment. But just yeah, thank you to everybody for putting this on every Saturday night and letting us come out here and have a great time with each other. And yeah, Connor, good to hear your voice again.
Good to hear your voice too. Unfortunate it wasn't a title in your favor, maybe for your fans at least. But either way, great season, 4 wins on the year. Just came up a few spots short, but great effort once again, Bailey. Thanks for talking to us. I know you finished 4th. I appreciate your time because you didn't have to take an interview. But I appreciate you talking to us and hope to see you at Daytona. If not on a full-time schedule, at least try to get a Daytona win.
For sure. Thank you.
Thank you. It came oh so close, but it just wasn't meant to be. And we got our title contenders covered, Samuel. Finally, we can talk to the guy who wasn't in the title battle, but ends up runner up so close to his first victory and unofficially 7th in the points. That would be Dakota Floyd.
Yeah, Dakota Floyd coming in here. Dakota Floyd, Sam Yosef, you got a copy.
I sure do.
Yeah, Dakota, really great run by you right there. Really want to ask, when you did that undercut for your final pit stop, what was going through your head after seeing what our winner and champion Joshua Banks did earlier in the race?
Uh, my kind of hope was like if I could get it in front of him, I was thinking that I could make him race for it, make him burn his stuff up, and maybe just kind of stay in front of him, put the dirty air on his nose. But I mean, he was the class of the field by far, so it was either I get in front of him or I try to overcut him again, and unfortunately, I couldn't make either work.
Yeah, I mean, really great race by Banks, but don't sell yourself short. 35 laps led today. You really commanded the lead in the beginning portion of this race. With it being the last race, walking into the next season, what are the lessons that you learned throughout the full season? What do you think you could take into season 7 and especially to probably put on a title challenge?
I think a lot of it is really how to drive through traffic. I've never been like a really upfront qualifier, so I'm always constantly having to drive through traffic and make hard passes. So I think a lot of what I learned is just how to be patient in the dirty air and work it to your advantage. Get the guys in front of you a little uncomfortable. I mean, it's just I get to learn a lot of different things just seeing what the really fast guys are doing on the track, and you just pick up those little bit of details that define your racecraft and refine it, make it better. So I think I'm just going into season 7 with some more confidence and hope I can at least pull a race win and yeah, maybe give a title fight a chance here.
Yeah, after watching what you did today, I'm sure that race win will come soon. The lessons learned you here today will carry over. Congratulations to you. Before we close out with you, anybody you'd like to thank? Any last shout outs before we close out the season?
Yeah, just first and foremost, teammates John and Justin. It's always a great time running with those guys. I really love just having the good team camaraderie that we have. It's always a good time with those guys, and just thanks SNR once again. It's been another phenomenal season. A lot of hardships again this season, but that's what you get with a really highly competitive league like this one. But just thanks to everyone for a great season and just always teaching me new things on the racetrack and Thanks to all the admins that make this thing go together. I know it's not easy with as much talent as we have. There's tempers behind it, so I know it's not easy every week, but they make this thing happen regardless. Thanks to VSPEED and you guys in the broadcast booth. You guys do phenomenal shows every week. It's a blast to go back and watch these, and you get to see what the other guys are doing if you're not even close to them. So it's, you get to watch and learn from an amazing broadcast. Thank you to all the sponsors that supported SNR this season, and thank you to my girlfriend for supporting me every week.
Yeah, well, great race by you, Dakota. I'm sure that race one will come soon. I'll be watching out in season 7 for you. But congratulations, and what a great way to end your season.
Yeah, absolutely. Thanks, guys. Have a wonderful night.
That is our second place, Dakota Floyd, and then Kenny Kibbe in our third place position. Kenny Kibbe, you got a copy, Sam Yosef.
Yes, I do.
Kenny, well, if we look back at your race, you did what you needed to do. You were running in that top 5 for majority of the race, but it was kind of quiet. Walk us through what was happening. You were in a few battles, especially with Bailey Turner near the end. Walk us through what was going through your mind at that point.
Yeah, since I got eliminated from championship contention last week, I just decided to start in the back and not qualify. That's kind of been my MO in this league for a couple seasons. So, just thought I would practice my racecraft and pass some cars, and we felt really good. So I was just kind of methodically working my way through the field and had to dodge that one crash. But other than that, it was relatively uneventful. And yeah, we had good speed. So I was just taking my time. And after that first pit stop, things really started to spread out, and it kind of became just racing against the racetrack more than anything. And so I tried to throw the undercut strategy out there once to see if I could keep the lead before the guys could catch me on newer tires, and that didn't quite work. And then we just kind of settled in and rode off to the top 3. So I'm still pretty happy about it.
Yeah, talking about your championship contention, falling out and whatnot. Any lessons learned through the season that you could apply to season 7 that could possibly put you into the final race in a potential championship situation?
Yeah, I definitely learned a lot about this car this season after it got rebuilt relatively early on in the season. Took me a while to get used to it, but I think I got it pretty down now. Learned a lot about racecraft and strategy and tire fall off and rubber buildup on the track. A lot of that stuff kind of evolved throughout this season. So learned a lot about that. And really, I think we were poised to have a great end of the season. It's just we had two races where we crashed out in the chase, and you just can't do that in a 5-race little mini season that we have here at the end. So if we didn't have that, we might have been in the championship conversation. But yeah, I just there's some things I need to work on, but whether we're in this car again next season or not is to be determined. But whatever we end up driving, I think we have a lot to bring to the table next year.
Yeah, difficult car, but great season by you. Honestly, great race as well to finish out the season, walking yourself through the back of the field to that final podium position. Kenny, with this being the last race of the season, any last shout outs, anybody you want to thank for getting you through the season?
Yeah, I just want to thank everybody at SNRL for creating this league and coming together every week. All the admins and the sponsors of the series for all they do. You guys at the VSPEED booth for all the broadcaster races each year. And everybody all my friends and family that like to ride on board with me and watch these races.
Well, Kenny Kibbe, with our third place, congratulations to you, sir. And I hope to see you in the championship fight next season. We'll be watching out for you.
All right. Sounds good. Thanks.
All right. Kenny Kibbe with our final podium place. Well, Connor, it's been an interesting race to watch. Being it my first time watching this league with you, this has been an awesome race to final out the season.
Definitely an awesome race to finish the season in a green race. I know Bailey Turner with the strategy call, pretty upset about it, but I think everyone can agree a clean race to end the season, especially through a championship fight, is what everyone wanted to see. Only the one yellow, the least amount in Kansas race history. After 6 seasons, we have 2 multi-time champions. Joshua Banks joins Jeff Wright as the only drivers to win 2 championships in the Saturday Night Racing League. Banks, the iRacer, has officially said that the banks are closed on Saturdays. That's what we're going to be going with into next season. That is it for us for the time being. We will not be back Saturday nights, at least for a little while. Season 7 will come soon enough. And yes, it will still be Saturday Night Racing League. All we can do is wait for the schedule release and look to Daytona, where we will almost certainly have another Saturday Night Racing League 500-mile race. But incredible race, incredible night, and incredible battle for the championship has come up. All Joshua Banks tonight. Samuel Joseph on production. I can't thank you enough for doing the heavy lifting. I hope to produce one day. I'm not there yet. I just get to talk about race cars like I said earlier, and I hope I can do a good enough job doing it. And the cameras, as always, provided by Dougie Beard. All of Season 6 for Saturday Night Racing League, presented by M&J Distributors, including Matco Tools. One final time from Kansas. The quiet track settles over the speedway. For everyone who works on VSPEED, from Bradley Cooper and Adam Baker, who run the show for the most part, Scott Shive, Alec Martinez, obviously Samuel Joseph, and everyone else who helps with VSPEED. We have more streams, by the way. Each and every day we have a race going on. But for everyone who does their part in keeping VSPEED afloat, I'm Connor Horn, signing off for all of VSPEED tonight. Congratulations to Joshua Banks, your 2-time Saturday Night Racing League champion.
Sebastian Marin, your first repeat top split winner of the qualifying series.
I knew it was just a matter of time. Hunter Sr. is victorious.
Josh Adams taking the win at Iowa.
GC Spider Motorsports takes home the 1-2-3 finish.
Drivers, start your printers.
To keep pace with the ever-changing landscape of marketing and advertising, let Clark Print Shop help you spot the trends and keep you in front of the pack with all your color printing needs. From business cards to invitations, menus to mugs, we can print anything you need on paper or your choice of over 3,000 promotional items. Visit www.clarkprintshop.com to browse our online catalog and place your order today, or call us at 276-889-3426. For a limited time, use the code iRacing for 23% off your first purchase. The staff at Clark Print Shop looks forward to handling all your color printing needs.
Introducing Tractor USA. the best way to buy and sell premium ag and construction equipment. Tractor USA was designed to be straightforward, simple, and affordable with zero commission and live auctions every week. Tractor USA auctions offer the finest selection of pre-owned tractors, combines, and other ag and construction equipment from across the United States and the world. Simply go to tractorusa.com to get started today.
Walking and Rolling Costumes started when my son Reese was born with cancer.
So when I was 3 years old, I got my first wheelchair.
And he wanted to be Wall-E for Halloween that year. And so I knew you couldn't buy a costume to go on a wheelchair at that time. So I knew I had to build one.
My dad ended up building a Wall-E costume out of a Dell computer box.
When we were all finished, he loved it. We took pictures of it and shared it on social media. So many people started sharing it that we started getting requests from people we didn't know.
In 2015, we decided to build them for other kids because people were asking, hey, can you build them for my kid?
So we started the nonprofit organization, Walking and Rolling Costumes, and we build costumes for kids all over the nation free of charge to the families.